All right, you already know. It's time to get it going. Let's go. Welcome to another one. Like two ninjas. Bring y'all asses in here, man. Come on through. You know the rules. You know the rules. What won't leave me alone? Is that so wrong? But she know I won't. Come on, y'all. Come on through. We got another one. As always. Come on. I'm throwback. That live nigga rap, Head in my lap. Come on. My chain way heavy, my weed way selling, wood wheels in my shepherds ain't shit that you can tell me. I'm counting up my fatty, I'm ignoring my salad. Them hoes all on me, but I'm all fat already now. I said the hoes all on me, but I'm all fat already now. Come on, listen, man, we off that. Come on, let's go. Hey, 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 hey. I'm counting up I'm ignoring them hoes out, but I'm off that already now. Come on. What's up, chat? What's going on? How we doing tonight? I know I'm late. I know you missed me. It's all good. We back though. Come on. It's 9 o'clock. If you won't start acting like you got asses was never outside, nah. Minimal dirt on my fingers was the game plan. Come on. Jet life, it pays, man. Y'all have to come through tonight. Come on. I'm turning up. It's midweek. It's hump day. Come on. Stay 100. In the opera house, sneaking bong heads till they pull us out this. Come on. What's going on? Come on. Hey. Come on. I'm ignoring my salad. Come on. But I'm off that. Come on, son. I'm hyped tonight. Come on. Yeah. I said my chain way heavy, my weed way smelling, wood wheels in my Chevys ain't shit that you can tell me. I'm counting up my fatty, I'm ignoring my salad. Them hoes all on me, but I'm off that already now. Come on, man. Yeah. And I got a mug too. No more bottles of water, we got mugs. Come on now. Uh-huh. Ain't shit that you can tell me. Come on. How y'all doing, man? Hey. My weed way smelling. What's going on, Mike? My youngin' Mike in the chat. Cat is in the chat. Crystal's in the chat. What's going on, everybody, man? Come on. My weed way. Wood wheels in my ain't shit that you could. I'm counting up my. I'm ignoring my. Come on. Listen, man, listen. Welcome. Let's stand the mic up. Welcome to another episode of Hotep History Live. I am your host with the absolute most, President Hotep Dubes, representing Hotep Nation. I hope you guys have been having a splendiferous week this week. Yes, splendiferous. Okay, splendiferous. I want to make sure that you guys were actually crushing it this week. That's the most important thing. Okay, that's the most important thing. Were you crushing it? You feel me? Mike get it. See, Mike says the spitter openers be fire. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm doing this for a reason. Okay, y'all need to know the gospel of Currency the Hospital. It's just what it is. Been listening to that man since I was, 15 years old? I'm 35. So, yeah. Been rocking out with Spitter for a long time. Shout out to Spitter, man. And we listen, I can literally have 1,000 episodes. 1,000. And I'll still be able to open up with a Spitter song. That is one of the reasons why I'm a huge fan of his. The output is incredible. The output is absolutely amazing. It's actually one of the things that inspires and motivates me to work as hard as I do. Real talk. I've watched enough interviews of Spitter talking about why he dropped so much music, the psychological, reasons why he does it, the musical reasons why he does it, the business reasons why he does it, and I absolutely respect him for that work ethic. Incredible work ethic. I am here to say that I don't know of a single rapper, not one, who has the amount of catalog that Spitter does. We're talking over 100 tapes and albums. Over 100. Absolutely incredible artist. He's the blueprint, as far as I'm concerned, on how to make money from your raps independently, without having to sell your soul, without having to, exchange your masters, none of that. I've been a fan of Spitter when he was rapping about his lights being cut off and, all of that other stuff. And now the man owns several properties, several businesses, and he's doing amazing things. Multi-millionaire, and I'm extremely proud to be a fan of Spitter. So when it comes down to my fandom or my support of Currency, it's never dying. You know what I'm saying? And all of the lifers, they understand what it means to never die. So welcome again, y'all. Welcome again. I really hope you guys have had a phenomenal week. I'm letting you know that I have, you understand, been learning a lot, and being able to progress, in the ways that I can, in the ways that I choose to, in the ways that I work. It's absolutely something that you can do as well. So I hope, okay, I pray that you guys have been doing amazing this week as well. You dig what I'm saying? So I didn't put this episode up to a vote. I didn't. And that was on me. That was on me. I had a very busy day yesterday and today, so I didn't get around to posting the poll. However, I do think that this is a great subject. I have a whole list of them and stuff like that. So I'm just going down the list pretty much. Well, I'm jumping around on the list. I'm looking at the list right now. I'm jumping around. But yeah, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. Tonight's episode's obviously about Black American medicine, and we're going to be diving into the, first Black American doctors, surgeons, dentists, and we're going to be tapping into the National Medical Association, which is one of many national associations that were created by the ancestors all throughout the late 19th and early 20th century. They were originally called National Negro Associations, but of course, as time went on, the name change was obviously going to be the thing to happen, just off of the strength of a lot of, these organizations or these associations just wanted to be able to have something for their own. It wasn't about necessarily excluding anybody, but explicitly including Black Americans. And so, after, politics and society and all these different things change over time, like, I see why, what I'm saying, they would change the name from National Negro Medical Association to just the National Medical Association. And we talked about this before, as far as like the difference between, National Negro Associations as opposed to the already established, or, after Black Americans did it, these white American associations, right? So as we already know about segregation and stuff like that. That's something that we are familiar with here on the Hotep history, just side of the internet. We don't, we're not ignorant about the discrimination and the exclusion that the ancestors went through. So being the ingenuitive, proactive people that they were, they created the national. But on the white side, it was the American. So you'll have the American Medical Association, the AMA, right? That's going to be white owned, white established, white founded. However, on the Black American side, it was national. And I think that does speak to the nationalistic behavior of the ancestors. I do believe that that's something inherent in the ancestors. Again, the main thing that the ancestors, as far as, you know, pre 1964 and 65, the ancestors just wanted to be American. That's it. Be American, give me my reparations, and that's that. We'll take it from here. And every step of the way, Black Americans showed the world, not only their own country, their own government, but showed the world how capable we have always been historically. Like, yo, listen, we don't need all of these extra handouts. We don't need any of this paternalistic behavior whatsoever. We can take care of our own. And so what you'll see is throughout history, you'll even have certain abolitionists, honestly, not want to free Black Americans from bondage because they looked at them as equals or looked at them as, you know, citizens like they were citizens. It was about being able to maintain control just without the bondage. Just without the bondage. If I can attribute me to this person's freedom, they'll always be in debt to me. They'll always see it my way. They'll always do what I want them to do, think what I want them to think. HJ went on this whole rant about how Black Americans were going to free themselves from slavery. Point blank, period. The ingenuity of the ancestors were such. And I agree with him. I truly believe that. Now, I'm not besmirching, obviously, abolitionists. Like, that'd be insane. Objectively, they did a good thing in fighting for the emancipation of the ancestors. And as far as me, especially the historical, you know, sense of it, absolutely appreciative of it. Think it was a good thing. I think it was the right thing to do. So that's that. That's on its own. But on the other side of that, there was this entitlement to Black American bodies, Black American behaviors, Black American thought that stems from the old days of the plantation. I mean, at the end of the day, when it came down to our, you know, relationship with everybody else, it was, for the most part, because you have free Black Americans, but for the most part, it was subserviency. It was being second class. It was being dehumanized. It was being livestock. It was being beasts of burden. And that psychology, that behavior, that thought that, you know, permeates to even allow that to happen and to proliferate over centuries, you don't just get rid of that. And so when it comes down to even certain abolitionists, so before we get to the abolitionists, I'll tell you this. When I read the slave owner narratives or books written around the perspective of slave owners, what I'll tell you is these people truly believed that they were doing the right thing based upon how they viewed Black Americans. Because they viewed the ancestors as these, you know, feeble-minded, childlike people who could not defend themselves, could not fend for themselves, could not build for themselves, that it was their obligation to subjugate the ancestors in the name of, you know, goodwill or morals, Christianity, like all of these different things. And it was complete horseshit. Because, again, your entire livelihood is being forged by people that you're keeping in bondage. So how is it that they're able to fend for you? They were able to grow for you, build for you, create for you, but they wouldn't be able to do it for themselves. And so the logic when I'm going, you know, into these books, I'm, you know, listening to what these people are saying. And what they're saying is that despite all of this ingenuity, productivity, and work ethic, it's only because I am their owner that this is being done. And that's absolute, again, garbage, because while slavery was going on, you had free Black Americans who never touched a single, you know, farm equipment or apparatus of any kind in the name of slavery. For generations. You have black American, free black Americans dating before the Revolutionary War. Entire lineages of black Americans who were never slaves, and they were operating independently. Sometimes they'll be, a lot of times, they'll be integrated and stuff like that. But as far as the things that they stood on for themselves, creating businesses, creating communities, being able to build homes, all of these different things that we see as productive in all eras and all centuries of American history, they were doing it while slavery was going on. So that should automatically, contradict all of this logic. But the reason I said all of this is because on the other side of this, when it came down to abolitionists, they were similar in the ways that they viewed the ancestors. Not all of them, but many of them viewed the ancestors as, yes, they shouldn't be enslaved, but they should not ever be equal to me. By virtue of me being in a position to advocate for their freedom because they are slaves, there's no way that that's going to happen. You'll have some abolitionists that will, say, hey, man, these people are people, they're humans, they're American citizens, and they are deserving of the rights that I have and stuff like that. And I'll attribute that to, however many that it actually, is true for. But I know for a fact, just because when I read the narratives of abolitionists, yeah, it was a very pitiful narrative that they painted for our ancestors. And maybe they needed to do that. White people know white people better than anybody else, right? And maybe to go white to white. Yo, this is white man to white man. Yo, listen, this is just terrible. Look at all of the terrible things. Look how dumb they are. Look how just fucked up these people are and all of that other shit. And it's just like, maybe. But I've also seen, just in my experience, obviously I didn't live in the, 18th or 19th century, but just based upon what I've seen in my own life, just being, a product of the late 20th century and going into the early 21st century, it's just like, that's what we're in right now. We're in the early 21st century. You know what I'm saying? But I have seen, based upon, just my walk of life, just like getting respect, regardless of race, just being who I am, and being a productive person. Being a person of value, being somebody who can actually produce something, being productive, not being somebody that only takes, but also be able to, give as well, and be able to, show myself worthy of respect. And of course, I know that these clowns have turned this sentiment into respectability politics and shit like that. But even when I'm studying the ancestors, we've covered it extensively on this channel, where we're reading these news articles, we're reading these books, we're reading directly from the ancestors. This is not an interpretation of the ancestors. This is exactly from the ancestors, and they are saying explicitly, you need to carry yourself in a particular way. Not because if you don't, white people are going to disrespect you, but if you don't, you won't have any self-respect. You know what I'm saying, will not be able to amount to much in this country. And I get it. Everybody talks about just the framing of this country, right? This is a racist country. It was created on racist principles and shit like that. But it's like, yo, listen, though, dog, while all of that racism is happening, homes are being built, schools are being built, banks are being built, grocery stores are being built, hospitals are being built, roads are being paved, infrastructure is being implemented. Okay? Electricity. The railroad, all of these different innovations throughout American history is also happening while racism is happening. Shit, while all evil of the world is happening in this country. Racism, murder, SA, all of these different things are happening simultaneously while all of these great things are happening. And of course, people, dilute and reduce the ancestors to just all of the terrible things that the ancestors went through. But again, when it comes down to your actual productivity and what you're able to produce, that is going to be the makings of a great man or woman, no matter where you are in the world. No matter where you are in the world, you can talk about the most tribalistic, most natural, holistic tribes right now in Africa who don't even deal with electricity. However, productivity, okay, being able to provide value within the context of that tribe, it's still held to a high degree because that's just human nature. So it wasn't about being able to please the white man or to, show the white man that you are human too. No, it was to show you that you were a human too. It was to show you what you're capable of. It's to show you what you have the ability to do once you realize who you are. That's what the ancestors stood on. It wasn't about trying to impress anybody but yourself and the people that are immediately around you. And then if you get big enough, it was always through steps. If you get big enough to where, okay, you've made something of yourself. You've done something for yourself. You become a doctor, like we're going to talk about tonight. You're going to, you've become a lawyer. You become an architect. You become a prominent farmer. You've become, a pillar of your community in whatever occupation, profession, or whatever it is that you are doing. Boom, you've got that. The next thing is, of course, making sure that you secure your family, making sure that the people in your household are doing swimmingly and doing well and doing amazing things based upon all of the things that you've taught them, all of the things that you've showed them, all the things that you've told them, et cetera, et cetera. And then you, of course, zoom out even more to your neighborhood. Okay, your community, and being able to, like I said, be a pillar to your community and be a service to your community, supply goods and or services to your community. So that, again, doubles down on your confidence, double downs on your, your self-awareness, it doubles down on your purpose, it doubles down on all of the things as far as being a human being on planet Earth, excuse me. Those are going to be the gratifying things. Actually living in your purpose, actually serving people other than yourself after you've served yourself. That's what it's always going to mean to be a human being. We put it in the, American context, and even more specific, the Black American context. But the ancestors, that's the reason why you saw so much proliferation. You saw so much advancement. You saw so much progress, is because Black Americans understood that once I finish serving myself, I have to serve my neighbor. I have to serve my community. That was the next thing. These motherfuckers had us in chains. They have already had a foregone conclusion that we were no better than beasts of burden. And I have a motherfucking storefront that I've been holding down for the past 10 years. I'm going to pass down to my son. I've built an entire town along with other Black Americans and sustained it for however long. They prided themselves on progress because it automatically was antithetical to all of the other shit that y'all like to complain about. All of that racism, all of that discrimination, all of that oppression. That's why they did it. They could have failed. And if it was up to a lot of my contemporaries, they did. They would have. They would have failed because, it's too many forces against me. It's too many things opposing me to be productive. No, I'm just going to fall to the vices. I'm going to fall to the narrative that they've created for me. I'm going to fall to the opinions and weapons and all of these things that they have done against me. I'm going to fall to it. Thank God the ancestors had the resolve, the bravery, the courage, the determination, ambition, and everything else in between to actually see it through, actually push through. There's absolutely no way that, we get the rights that we get or have, without the ancestors being able to grin and bear a bunch of real hardship. Real hardship. So when people talk about like, slavery was more than likely 100 times worse, 1,000 times worse. Listen, by virtue of the ancestors being in bondage, it was already terrible. And yeah, I agree with the sentiment like, slavery was everywhere. Every civilization has enslaved another one or within their own civilization. Agree. No way that a historian worth his bones or worth his salt is going to disagree with that. And even when they try to, put the caveat in as, chattel slavery and all of that. Like I told y'all, based upon American history. Okay. You got, what was his name? Hugh something. You feel me? Like, it's Hugh Gwynn. Hugh Gwynn. Hugh Gwynn. He, in 1640, said, nah, John Punch is my slave for life. Prior to that, there wasn't any chattel slavery. Right? That's in 1640. And then in 14 years later, so it's a white man is already the case law for 15 years. Lifetime slavery on the books. You feel me? In 1654, 1655, Anthony Johnson, as we all know, sued, black men, sued to have John Kaser as a slave for life. He was an indentured servant, ordered to serve 7 years. We know the story. So even in the American context, we have black American autonomy, and this is in the colonial era. Now, I'm not blaming chattel slavery on a black man, but I'm also not going to sit here and act like I don't know the history of how chattel slavery was introduced to America. And you have two men, one white and one black, who sued for the ability to have a slave for life. That is facts. Now, of course, when you actually include everything else, that is exclusively white government and all these other things, like, yes, it's going to be on the shoulders of white men during this time, when it comes down to the bulk of the responsibility. But I'm not going to deny reality. But even that, I say all of that to say is that when it comes down to opposition, not only did your ancestors have to worry about external opposition, they had internal opposition. All of, and I mean 100% of the failed slave revolts was because another slave snitched. Because another slave went to a white person and said, hey, they're going to revolt in the morning. They're going to revolt in a month. They're going to revolt in 2 weeks, because these revolts were planned over time. Some were spontaneous because of whatever the reason. Others were based in the fact that, like, listen, we got to get more men. We got to get more weapons. We have to make sure that we have our strategies down pat. So it's going to take however many weeks to be able to get all of those things. And during that time, you had a bunch, not a bunch, but you did have a bunch of traitorous and treacherous black American slaves who would go and snitch on these rebellions and revolts. So I understand the real context of what it means to be an ancestral black American. And that is the reason why I have all of this honor, respect, and prestige that I put onto them, because you guys have absolutely no idea. Okay? I'm not just talking about the people who are listening to me right now. I'm talking about in general, the American population in general. For the most part, most of the 330 million people that live in this country right now, y'all have absolutely no idea how the ancestors shaped their destiny inside of this country intentionally, deliberately, and had to fight against what they fought against, but was still prideful, was still able to smile, still able to have joy, still able to build wealth, still able to build family and community, still able to be human beings in this country. Every ounce of freedom that you have, every ounce of right that you have in this country was based upon your ancestors killing and dying for them. 100%. You cannot live and breathe as a black American today and not have the ancestors live through you. And that's the reason why I push Hotep history the way that I do. It's extremely important for you guys to understand the vitalness, how important it was for black Americans 100, 200, 300 years ago to do what they did. I said it in a previous stream. The probability or possibility of black Americans going extinct on this land was not zero. Okay, there were millions upon millions of people who were already here, and they are now extinct. They no longer exist. Their entire lineage is wiped out. I don't think people understand what that means. That the entire history of these people no longer resonate on this earth. outside of some books or whatever it is. There's nobody living and breathing from that tribe that can speak on the history of their people. Only books, largely books written by people that were not of that tribe. You, as a black American in the 21st century, not only have the rights, but you have the privileges of the things that your ancestors fought for. One of those privileges being that you can read what they wrote, that you can study them directly. You don't even have to go through anybody. Not necessarily. Yeah, you could talk about the Library of Congress or whatever, who kept, good record of what the ancestors wrote. But even then, those books are still available. You can buy them. Even then, if you can't, it's on a website that you can read. Your ancestors 1,000%, okay, gave you a gift from them, which is their literature, okay, which is their words, the things that they did, and being able to document them. And then once cameras came into play and footage came into play, now we're able to record it. Now we're able to show you what it was like to be us. So I want to ask you guys, I want to ask y'all, what do you want black Americans 100 years from now, 200 years from now, to know about us? Everything that you are doing, whether you are doing it intentionally or not, you're creating history. You're creating history. We read on this program 200-year-old newspapers, 150-year-old newspapers from black Americans. Okay? We read about the daily lives of black Americans and all of the things that they were going through, all of the things that they achieved, how they were living. I'm talking about, we get real nosy over here at Hotep History. We be knowing about domestic disputes. We be knowing about divorces. We be knowing about skating rinks that were created, sports, gun clubs. You feel me? We learned about the League of Housewives. The League of Housewives. We all in the ancestors' business. That's why they wrote it down. To be able to report to the contemporaries, obviously, but understanding that this is going to go down in history. So when you are looking at people who are publishing things on a day-to-day basis and, being able to say the things that they're saying, what do you think that's going to read like 150 years from now? What do you think that's going to read like 80 years from now? I tell y'all all of the time, as it pertains to Black Lives Matter, right? 100 years from now, Black Lives Matter is going to be looked at like the 21st century version of the civil rights movement. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I've already seen it. I've seen the major players that they're going to highlight because I was experiencing. I was a grown man. I wasn't a child. I wasn't a teenager. The first day that Black Lives Matter hit the timeline, I was 24 years old. I was a grown man. You understand? I was a grown man. And outside of people on the ground in Ferguson, like Darren Seals, rest in peace, rest in power, Darren Seals, who exposed Black Lives Matter for the frauds that they were back then. Slapping D-Ray, confronting them on camera, exposing them for the frauds that they were in real time. He's going to be, from a Hotep historian perspective, 100 years from now, his articles, his Facebook posts, the things, his YouTube videos are going to be the things that a Hotep historian is going to be like, yo, did y'all know about a man named Darren Seals? That in 2014, 100 years ago, it's 2114. In 2014, he called this group out. So while y'all are praising the D-Rays, the Nettas, and the Sean Kings, and the Patrice Colliers, and all these different people, yo, there were black Americans, not white people, not Mexicans, not Asians, not none of that, not Hispanics, not Latinos, not Native American, none of that. It was black Americans being like, yo, Do y'all, yeah, like, these people are frauds. They came out here and co-opted our movement. I was on Spaces one day, one of Rashad's Spaces, one of the original founding, members of Black Lives. I don't even think it was Black Lives Matter because, again, Black Lives Matter is a co-op. It's a psyop, okay? He said, they stole our hashtag. They circumvented what our, grassroots organization, all of the things that we were doing as far as grassroots. They came through with outside money, people who they're going to be beholden to, okay? People that they're going to be beholden to based upon, their allegiance. Okay? Exposed it. He said that on Spaces. And of course he knew Darren Sills because they were on the ground in Ferguson. So they used the dead body of a black boy who was killed by a policeman and be able to get millions of dollars, be able to get all of this clout. D-Ray got sponsorships with Unilever or something like that. He's doing Dove commercials on the timeline. He's doing Dorito commercials on the timeline. I'm talking about real ads. Bought and paid for off the rip. Made off like bandits. Made off like thieves in the night. Never to be heard from again. Nobody's asking what D-Ray's thinking at times like this. Nobody's asking Netta what she feels about this. Sean King still doing his best to get a grift off. But these people were frauds. Absolute frauds. And they extracted billions from Black America. They proliferated the destruction of so many different cities over the past decade and some change. And they get to walk like nothing happened. And the only thing as far as 100 years from now that's going to be able to, speak out against that is the Hoteps of the world and the people that were on the ground like Darren Sills. Darren Sills was assassinated. Darren Sills was assassinated. I will say it one last time. Darren Sills was assassinated for exposing Black Lives Matter in real time. He slapped D-Ray in real life. And then you have, years later, D-Ray doing photo ops, getting arrested with a smirk on his face, with a Twitter t-shirt. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see if I can pull that picture up. That picture, yo. Oh, man. That was crazy. Yeah, yep. I did it in the wrong window. My fault, y'all. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is a photo op. This is a photo op. Look at the branding. Look at the branding. Look at the title of this. Activist films his own arrest. Look at his face. New York Times, they probably not going to let me. D-Ray McKesson arrested while protesting in Baton Rouge is released. Of course he was. D-Ray McKesson, one of the best known voices for the Black Lives Matter movement. He spent 16 hours in Baton Rouge jail cell until he was released Sunday afternoon, vowing to continue demonstrating. Look, I already know they was going to hit me with the paywall. I already knew they was going to do that. But yes, photo op. Photo op, son. This is one of the most prominent members of Black Lives Matter, and he was bought and paid for. So, when I tell y'all that I take this stuff seriously, not because I'm some no fun, fuddy-duddy ass nigga. No, that ain't what it is. That's why we start the show with a classic spitter song to let you know, like, yo, I'm human just like everybody else. I'm flawed just like anybody else. I'm not walking around here thinking that I need to be picture perfect and all of that other stuff. But God damn it if I don't do my best. God damn it if I don't put the ideologies, the behaviors, the thought processes, the work, the sacrifices of the ancestors first when I move about the world. And I guarantee you, if you spend as much time as I spent reading what the ancestors wrote, you will walk around with that same level of obligation, that same feeling of duty. Same. Even with your twists, even with your personality, even with how you are, you do not have to turn into Booker T. Washington as a personality to be able to understand and have reverence for the work and the things that Booker T. Washington stood for. You don't have to do that. All you got to do is the right thing. That's it. Do the right thing like Spike Lee, right? Ain't that what your uncle used to say to you? That's it. That's it. And listen, man, like, I don't be planning these rants, but, at the end of the day, son, like, this is what inspires it. Just telling you about what the show was going to be about led to a 40-minute rant. Don't apologize for it. I mean it. I mean every word. Let's get back to the chat. French 75. Good drink. Good drink. Chance says French 75. I do enjoy that drink. Unless you're talking about the spitter song, which I also agree with. He also says, hold on. Come on with this nonsense. He also says, right, bro, like, I don't know how they did it. Listen, man. Like, the ancestors was really giving it up, bro. Really giving it up. Like, it's incredible the type of things that they were doing, yo. I will never, ever stop singing their praises. Never, ever. For as long as I live. I'm never going to stop praising the ancestors. You niggas got them all the way fucked up. Amazing people who did amazing things at terrible times. Charleston White, before I get to the rest of the chat, Charleston White, who is all over the place. We all know about Charleston White. Like, he damn near like the neighborhood junkie that got rich. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, he be saying some cool shit sometimes, then he'll say some stupid shit sometimes. Like, it is what it is, right? The dichotomy of Charleston White. But one of the times that he was right, one of the things that he said, he was like, yo, listen, when you compare the ancestors to us, the contemporary black American, and that includes me, I'm not excluding myself, all of us together, if the ancestors, let me tell you what Charleston White said, then I'll go on what I was saying. Charleston White basically said that contemporary black Americans deserve the treatment that the ancestors got, and the ancestors deserve the treatment that we get. Basically talking about all of the privileges, all of the rights that we have, and, all of the things that we enjoy as black Americans, to the point that we throw away. We throw away years of our lives just doing fuck shit. We are so decadent compared to the ancestors. It's insane. We are so posh. We're so hoity-toity. We are so elitist. We are so, like, yeah, I'm talking about overall. Not everybody, but overall, yeah, 100%. If the ancestors had the internet, I already went on this rant. So I do agree with him. You know what I'm saying? As cynical as that may sound, I'm not sitting here saying that I deserve to be, subjugated or anything like that. But the premise is, or at least what I took from it, because I'm not going to speak for Charleston White, but the premise is, for me, when it comes down to the stuff that they were able to do in the time that they were able to do it, you you cannot look at all of the terrible things, because all of these contemporaries, that's what the mainstream histories do. You look at all of these terrible things. You look at how terrible chattel slavery was. You look at how terrible black codes and Jim Crow and segregation and all these things were, for sure. But your ancestors did amazing things during those times. So imagine if your ancestors had high-speed internet and had terabytes of data storage and being able to do all of the things that we're able to do that we just take for granted. Like, it is what it is. They would have, what? They would have had twice as many children. They would have had made twice as much money. They would have had twice as much community. At the bare minimum, twice as much. Twice as much. So, that is the reason why. But I did not forget why I said all of this. It's about Black American medicine. That's what we're talking about tonight. There is no Patreon tonight. We rock until about 11 o'clock, and then I'm getting up out of here. I have a lot of work to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of behind on some things. I'm still working, but I'm kind of behind on some things. So I just want to be able to give myself some more time. Again, there will be a lot more content on the Patreon. So make sure that you guys are subscribing to the Patreon, patreon.com/Hotep History. I have it in my bio, and all that other stuff by the end of the night. But you definitely want to subscribe to the Patreon. Let's get back to the chat. Let's see what the chat is saying. Chance says, I once was strong, but you see what you up against. Man, Chance, don't let what you up against get you off of your square. Don't let the inevitable, and I mean it, the inevitable opposition that you are going to come against in your life's journey stop you from having that journey. That's from me to you. There is absolutely no excuse for you not to get out of bed in the morning. You have no excuse. Get up, get to it, fight for what's right, fight for what's yours, keep it, fight to keep it, and keep making more. Keep progressing, keep going, no matter what. No matter what, I don't care what happens. Outside of you being killed or dying, maimed in a way that will, render you a vegetable, there is absolutely no excuse. And I know I'll be sounding like some of these corny motivational speakers and shit like that. I don't mean to be, but I'm telling you, man, as somebody who has gone through, goes through, and will more than likely go through more turmoil and more, hardship and all that other stuff, I'm here to tell you, bro. I'm here to tell you that shit, the pain does go away. I'm trying to tell you. You have to. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your ancestors. You owe it to everybody that care about you to get right back on that horse. Get right back on it. That's it. Keep going. Sammy says, shout out to Sammy, by the way. He said, I would want the ancestors of this land to know we continued in their traditions and adapted to our times to improve upon the foundations they laid. Amen. Amen. When I asked the question about what you would want your century later descendants to know, Sammy says, I'll read it again. I would want the ancestors of this land to know we continued in their traditions and adapted to our times to improve upon the foundations they laid. Amen. Amen. You feel me? This is the reason why I go as hard as I do. I'm trying to tell y'all something, man. Once upon a time, we was all in this together. Once upon a time, we was all in this together. I love this. I love I got a mug. I feel so distinguished. Let me pour up another round. Yeah. There we go. And I apologize, Twitter, to you specifically. I be timing these. I be planning these for like, I'm going to talk, 2 hours should be enough. But I got to start putting a short timer on this because we are pretty much an hour in. We even get to the subject matter yet. But when it comes down to this stuff, y'all, I ain't going to lie, son. I really fuck with my mug, son. I ain't going to hold you. I got to take another sip. Let's go. Anyway. Honoring the ancestors is much more than lip service pause. Much more than just talking. Much more than evoking their lives. And I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. You got to do something. That's how you honor the ancestors. Yeah, have respect. Yeah, have reverence. Yeah, speak great of them. Hold them accountable, because that's what they did amongst themselves, back then. But you got to be able to do something. You got to be able to create something. You got to be, somebody that's damn near a copy of what they stood on. You understand? That's what it's all about. That's what it's been about. So I'm going to stop yapping on my motivational stuff. But I hope that first hour blessed y'all in some way. I hope it helped y'all in some way, because I really mean it. I really mean it. My youngin' Mike says, don't let the inevitable keep you from making the right life decisions. Oh, yeah. That was me. He quotes me. That's my youngin' right there. Me and Mike been locked in for, 10 years, Mike? You feel me? So proud of him. He's one of my first mentees. He's an amazing young man. I'm extremely proud of him. I sing his praises whenever, me and the older guys get to talking about our mentees and our youngins and all of that, and they telling me about what they mentees are accomplishing and all of that other stuff, and I'm able to, bring my boy Mike up like, yeah, so my youngin' Mike, he killing it out there. He got rental properties. He got all of this going on, and so I bring him up in great circles, and not only am I proud of you, Mike, the other OGs is proud of you too, bro. You're doing an amazing job. And whenever you need me, you already know I'm a phone call away. You always going to have my number. It's all love. It's always going to be love. You're an amazing, outstanding member. Hotep to Mike, man. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's see. Oh, no. I scrolled down too fast. Let's start this over. Oh, man. My bookmarks is lit, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's refresh the page. Oh, no, we here. So before we get to that video, so this guy, he be talking cash shit about black Americans. He be talking cash shit. He one of them black conservatives that I be telling y'all about. You feel me? The ones who are anti-black, and they use the whole bootstrapism, holding people accountable shtick as a guise to be able to get their anti-black sentiments off. And if you are a real black American, if you one of those people who actually, like I said, study their ancestors and are proud to be a black American, you can spot these clowns from a mile away. You can spot them from a mile away. So when it comes to this guy, okay, it didn't play. Off the dribble, you know what we looking at, right? That hairline, okay? That hairline is absolutely illegal. It should be illegal. That should be a felony, okay? That's not even a misdemeanor hairline. That is a felonious hairline, okay? Off the dribble, okay? The patchy beard, patchy mustache. What are we doing? What are we doing in 2025 with patchy mustaches? Okay? The entire hair situation of this young man is absolutely abysmal. It's absolutely a crime against humanity. That's off the dribble. But one of the things that he likes to do is talk crazy about black Americans. Tries to say, he does all of the stuff that these black conservatives be doing a lot of the times, being able to, put degenerate behavior and make it synonymous with black culture, those types of guys, right? So anytime he sees bad behavior among black Americans, then it's, of course, all of black America has to be responsible for this. You feel me? And as you can see, I guess he's in a wig shop or whatever, doing some other shit. And it says Halloween. It's Halloween all year long for black women. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That type of stuff doesn't help. It's not productive, but it does get the people going. It does get you likes. It does get you views. And it does get you paid. It does. It pays. Being a coon has been paying for centuries. Just being honest. I told y'all about the slaves that would, rat out the other slaves that were going to revolt. A lot of those guys got rewards. A lot of those guys got pats on the head. A lot of these dudes got money. Like, yeah, it was incentive to be a coon. Always. So, this is why I am a huge fan of this video. Incredible video. Let's watch together.
I'm in nigga bitch paradise. I found every bitch in Detroit Halloween costume right here.
I just to the neck, but now I'm trophied up. I'm saying like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand. The type of skits I'm on, you wouldn't understand.
Got mixed up. Look at him.
Now hold your hand.
Mixed up.
Business. I cannot be your man. Never got his ass whooping.
Now he arrested.
That can.
Now he arrested. You might have missed it. You might have missed it. So let's watch it again.
I found every bitch in Detroit Halloween costume right here.
Getting back down. Boom. Hold on, wait for it. Boom. Folded him. And now he arrested. So we saw it. We might watch it again. But this is what I'm talking about. And I don't know if you guys noticed. Ain't Ned Black hand touched that man. Ain't Ned Black man or black woman touched that man. It was the white people. You know, the people that you make this content for, right? They got on your ass. I don't know what you said to them. I don't know what you did to him, but they was on your ass, sir. Don't even know his name. But I can tell you, them crackers was on your ass. And then they mixed you up. You let a motherfucker with long hair whoop your ass. And then, for all your trouble, you got arrested. For all of that. Not only did you get your ass whipped by a bunch of white people that I'm more than sure you had your guard down for, you didn't think there was going to be any trouble because, you know, they don't exhibit none of the nigga shit, right? They don't do none of the black culture stuff, right? They don't do none of that stuff where they wearing wigs and weaves in Detroit and all that other shit that you like to make videos about. They mixed your ass up. Partly probably because of your hair. Probably because of that hairline. They should have whooped. I hope that was a part of it. I hope the white dude seen that your hairline ain't even really that. Like, you should get your ass whooped just off the hairline alone. So I want you to know, young man, that, well, I hope, young man, that you learned a lesson that day. I don't know how long ago this was. I'm pretty sure it was recent. But I hope you learned a lesson. Everybody talks about fucking around and finding out and shit like that. That's what this happened. That's what this was. So I hope that moving forward, and I'm so glad black Americans didn't do nothing to you. So you couldn't hop on TikTok and being like, hey, this is the barbaric behavior that I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. No. White people mixed you up, nigga. White people beat your ass. So I hope moving forward, you take this as a lesson and you watch your motherfucking mouth. All right. What else we got? Oh, we got me. That the revolution will not be televised. Come on, hold on. Because I think Hotep was preaching. Hold on. Let's listen. Let's see what Hotep had to say. What you're failing to understand is that the revolution will not be televised. It starts up here, my nigga. I started growing my own food in 2015. Okay, kale, broccoli, glass gem corn, blueberries, strawberries, you name it, my nigga. I was in the middle of the trenches living in North Philly and I was growing my own food. Facts. I bought my guns and was going to the range every fucking week. So this is what I'm saying. Like, these are self-sufficient behaviors that if multiplied by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, hopefully millions of people, you're not even gonna be worrying about overthrowing the government because you'll be running your local government. You'll be running your municipalities. You'll be, you'll have direct contact with your councilmen, your aldermen, your mayors, and all these different things to where you're not even worrying about some Capitol Hill January 6th shit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, shout out to the Nature of Things podcast. My brother Rashad, my sister Kenya. Make sure you're subscribing to their channel. You know, I make my appearances on there whenever it's time to put some Hotep in it. You know what I'm saying? All the success to my man Rashad and my sister Kenya. But yeah, I stand on that. This was based upon a clip that we were watching with Killer Mike saying that you guys are not ready for revolution if you don't, you know, have any of these self-sufficient, you know, qualities and, you know, all in characteristics and behaviors and stuff like that. Like, you are absolutely not ready. Okay, you're not ready. Even when it came down to something as simple or something as recent as the Chicago YNs are going to go up against the National Guard and all this other stuff. It's like, you're not, though. And as far as the military is concerned, the National Guard is like the lowest rung. They like, the Marines make fun of them. The Army soldiers, they make fun of them. Like, National Guards are like a joke as it pertains to like the hierarchy of American servicemen and women. But like, as far as like in comparison to a random hood resident with a gun, no, bro. Like, you guys are like, they're heads and shoulders better than you. Okay, they may not be in the best physical shape, but as far as what they have at their disposal, due to the U.S. government and all this other stuff, it's heads and shoulders above what you could possibly muster up. And so, if you are going to be of the revolutionary spirit, if you're going to be one of those people who are like, yo, we need to, you know, have a revolution and all that other stuff, Gil Scott-Heron said what he said because it starts up here. Like I said, you got to change who you are to become an actual, you know, revolutionary and all of that other stuff. You got to live on principles and die by particular principles that so many people, despite their anger, despite their emotions, are not built or willing or ready to do. That's a fact. Killer Mike in the video said, y'all don't even got a plant in your window. Talking about some revolution. Y'all shop at Walmart, man. Y'all get McDonald's burgers. What are you talking about? You subsist on everything the system brings you in every way possible. Talking about some revolution. Insane. So yeah, make sure you guys are tapping in to the Nature of Things podcast. A great program. Let's get to this, man. Let's get to this. So, yeah, I remember the last episode when I was talking about, you know, the Mona Leo, I think that's what her name is, Mona Leo, and the Grits nigga talking, and I told y'all my view on the diaspora war and shit like that. And while I don't think that I gave them bail at all, I do think that I was a little bit, you know, understanding to what they were saying. But then this clip, yeah, the tuxedos, now the tuxedos are a little fucked up. Now the tuxedos look a little fucked up. So, you got this tweet. Random person, it's absolutely no motion, okay? It's got 6 views. So, please believe, as far as I care, this is a fucking troll, okay? This is a fucking troll. They mean nothing. You feel me? But they say black is not an ethnicity. It's a racial categorization. African American is an ethnicity. African describes the landmass your ancestry comes from. American is your citizenship, not your ethnicity. You are in a settler colonial nation, no different than, no different from South America and Israel. Spelled Israel wrong, but whatever. Yeah, this is absolute fucking bullshit. As far as a lot of these different countries around the, you know, inside the African continent, throughout all these different parts of the world, I'm not saying that they don't have any history, because obviously that they do. But when it comes down to the history of Black Americans specifically, we have 5, sometimes even 600-year-old genealogical, you know, tracking here on this landmass. Very, very long time as it pertains to, you know, history and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Not, you know, the longest time, because we, you know, we go back millennia as far as like human history and stuff like that, right? But when it comes down to, you know, ethnicities, right? Ethnicities, they're ethnicities that are younger than Black Americans. There are ethnicities that are only 100 years old, 200 years old, 80 years old. If you knew just how diverse Africa actually was and all of the thousands of different tribes, all of these different, makeups of people and stuff like that, nobody would dare say that these people are not ethnically whatever they are. Okay? Despite them only having 100-year, 200-year, 300-year history. So when it comes down to Black Americans specifically having 500 years of documented history on this continent and in this country, before it even was, the corporation that it is now, as far as the United States in the colonial era, when it was owned by the French and Spanish and, England and all this other stuff, like, our ancestors go back. We looked at my man Rashid. His people, their lineage starts in 1695? So we talking the 17th century that his family been here. So again, like, when it comes down to ethnicity, like, what do you actually mean? Because you wouldn't tell, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but you wouldn't tell an ethnicity, an African ethnicity that's only been around for 250 years that their ethnicity is not valid, that you just African, or you just Nigerian, or you just Kenyan, or whatever it is. It's like, nah, this is my people. So I don't understand why people don't have that understanding from Black Americans. It's absolutely insane. And I really do blame Jesse Jackson with that African American shit, because that's what gets everybody messed up. And I'm not one of those people that deny my African ancestry. I don't. I truly don't. I'm not one of those people, okay? But I'm also not going to deny the centuries upon centuries that my ancestors have been on this rock, on this land, specifically, and did all of the things that they did. So this is what the Grits nigga had to say. Let's listen to the Grits nigga. What happened? What's going on? Why is it not pulling up? Yo, I
think the most important thing about being a Black American is, with the global presence that we have in our culture, with the copycatting that happens in our culture, with the denial of our culture, it's up to us to, like, morally take a high road when it comes to certain shit. So, like, being xenophobic doesn't help anybody, right?
No.
Being exclusionary of other cultures throughout the diaspora, even if sometimes y'all do that to us, that ain't our role.
It's not our.
I think the most important thing about being a Black American.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the reason why I do not like these new blacks. The reason why I don't like these new blacks is, first and foremost, yo, despite you even may having a granny that raised you, despite you may not even getting your blackness from colleges, because that's like the, you know what I'm saying, the worst of the worst new blacks, right? These people that found out they was black because they went to an HBCU for a few years and shit like that, because they lived in predominantly white neighborhoods and they weren't able to express their cultural identity the way that we did in all black neighborhoods and shit like that, whether it be middle income, low income, or high income. If it was predominantly black, nigga, it was predominantly black culture going through that motherfucker. And that's how we were able to experience the things we were able to experience. You're not about to sweep my feet. You're not about to have my mother's purse on the ground. You are definitely not about to do any of the, you're not about to have the screen door open, shit like that, right? Like, that's just how it is. And I think the Grits nigga was raised like that. I'll give him that. But when you, as the new black, gets to fucking rah, rah, rah about the white man, right? Y'all rah, rah, rah about the white man all day long. Y'all love that. And I find it so funny that y'all don't see how... Anyway, no, not anyway. I find it funny that y'all don't see how, for all of that white supremacy shit y'all be kicking, y'all able to get rich by saying it. And I don't know why y'all think that is not contradictory. If y'all was really under fire for real, if y'all was behind the proverbial enemy lines, if y'all was behind the psychological enemy lines and shit like that, you couldn't be able to get the shit that these niggas get off. You wouldn't be able to talk about white people the way y'all do this. I've heard the Grits niggas say some crazy shit. Not even crazy shit, but like, when I say crazy, I'm talking about if he was living in like 1910 or whatever, yo, they would have tried to find this nigga and lynch him. Now, don't get me wrong, the ancestors was talking like that too, You feel me? But I mean, they had more of a historical context to be able to get it off like that. This is in 2025, where I'm pretty sure a nice percentage of your audience is white. So when it comes down to that shit, it's rah, rah, rah against the black man. But when it comes down to standing on black American business and having pride in black America and not allowing people, despite us having similar skin tones, you know, disrespect us, now all of a sudden we supposed to accept, you know, their xenophobia, but we can't be xenophobic as a, you know, because we don't want to, you know, offend the people who just disrespected us. Are you fucking insane? How is it that you niggas get to bang on one principle based upon this set of criteria, and then when it don't apply to other people? It's the same thing when I be talking to my homeboys and my homegirls who just hate Republicans. They hate Republicans off of A, B, and C reason. And I'm like, okay, heard you, right? Heard you. The Democrats did A, B, and C as well. Wow, it's this, and it's all of this cognitive dissonance and shit like that. And I'm just like, yo, dog, like, what are you doing? Are you principled? Are you standing on what you do and don't like? Or is it dead ass? It just sways with the wind based upon the person that's doing it. Because if you hate anti-black sentiment, right, in general, from white people, from Asian people, from Hispanic people, and all of that other shit, I don't understand why you can't have that same energy for a particular black immigrant or particular black immigrants who espouse some of the same shit, especially when while you know, it could be what they perceive and whatever it is, but a lot of that stuff be coming from them same other groups. A lot of that stuff be coming from the same white people that you be banging on pause on your podcast. So how is it that you got all of this vitriol and all of this smoke, you feel me, for these groups or this group, but when another group do it, now it's okay and we need to lock arms and be okay with the disrespect? Are you high? Is it cocaine? A little methamphetamine? What is it that makes you okay with disrespect from people who look like you, but you don't want to tolerate it from people that don't? Like, that don't mix well with me. That don't mix well with me. I don't even fuck with black Americans who disrespect black Americans. We just seen, I would assume that he's black American. I don't know his lineage. I don't know his, you know, where he come from, but I would assume that man was black American and he got folded up by white people. And you don't see me sitting here being like, oh, man, we need to hold it down for him because he's black American. Nah, he's been extremely anti-black American in his rhetoric, going viral off of him being hateful towards black Americans. Why the fuck would I cape for him? So why are you, grits nigga, caping for black Africans or black Caribbeans who do not respect black Americans? This ain't got nothing to do with the ones that do. This has everything to do with the ones who don't. So why the fuck you not banging on them? Well, you think you a more virtuous black man, more virtuous black American man, because you don't want to call out the Nigerian or the Jamaican or whoever? Now it's supposed to be this solidarity and all this other shit. Are you high, nigga? Are you dumb? You dead ass sitting there twiddling your goddamn fingers trying to find the words to make sense of your cognitive dissonance. That's it. I ain't never seen that nigga so introspective while he was talking. He boastful usually when I see a clip of him. You know what I'm saying? He energetic, he charismatic, he getting his bars off, like he be saying little fly shit while he talking. He get to talking about the cracker, he know everything. He brave, he good. You feel me? But now, because you don't want to offend Shorty because she had all of those flags in her video and she look at it a particular way, and you can't just stand on the fact that there's good people from all of those different flags that rock with black Americans. You got to stand on, yo, yeah, those people might disrespect us, but we can't be disrespectful. We can't be disrespectful. We gotta have the moral high ground. We gotta take the moral high ground when it comes to them. We got to have a level of understanding when it come to them. Why? Why, nigga? Are they not adults just like you and I? Are they not adults like the white people that you complain about? Crazy? Nah, son, I don't know. I don't do that. I My principles and my morals are not based upon another person. They're not. They don't sway based upon another person. Because I ain't gonna sit there and say I got them. I got these from my parents, my community, the ancestors, and the past 10 years of me just studying them. You feel me? So it comes from other people for sure, people that came before me. But they don't change because somebody's in front of me. I stand on what I stand on no matter who's in the room. Now, I don't need to be confrontational. I don't need to be a dickhead about particular things. There'll be a level of respect that I pay anybody just off the rip, right? I don't really get down with the whole thinking you're another gender thing. I think that's a bad thing. You feel me? I don't think that that's something that's conducive to the human condition or the human experience. However, if I meet a transgender person, I'm not about to just disrespect them off the dribble. For what? I ain't gonna do that. Now, if that person get disrespectful to me, it is what it is. I'm not gonna tolerate the disrespect. But I'm not about to be disrespectful off the dribble based upon anybody's identification outside of something that, like, if they identified it by it, you feel me, like KKK or something like that. You feel me? Where not, you know what I mean? Where it's like the identification is literally saying that they're anti-me. Outside of that, man, you get the respect. And it's not until you disrespect me to where you're going to get disrespect from me. That's it. So I don't understand how grown men who definitely espouse principles, morals, and ethics. I've heard him in clips. I haven't watched the full episode of the Grits Nigga ever. You feel me? But I heard him espouse virtues, espouse ethics, espouse, beliefs and morals and all of these different things. We'll say an entire group doesn't have one. We'll say white people don't have souls, don't have conscience, don't have none of this stuff. I've heard him say it. Says Black American, all of these flattering things about Black Americans when it suits him. Black women when it suits him. You feel me? But Black Caribbeans that are being disrespectful, Black Africans that are being disrespectful, now all of a sudden that we can't say nothing? I can't get with it. I can't get with it. But let's get to the topic at hand, y'all. Since we're not doing Patreon tonight, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Twitter. Let me see something, Twitter. Let me see something, Twitter, because I know the stream is going to end at 11, and that's only 45 minutes from now. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. See if I can prolong this thing. Let's see. Can I edit? Let's see if I can edit. Yes, I can. I can edit it. I can edit it. So let's just add. Let's add. Yeah. Let's just. We gonna rock. We gonna rock. Twitter gets the whole thing. Pause. All right. All right. We still here, right? We still live. Okay. Good. So we can prolong it. That's something new. What we gonna do is gonna take a little break. Just a short little break. And I'm letting y'all know right now, man. Y'all want y'all to know that I love y'all, man. Because I be getting copyright strikes every episode. Anytime I be playing these spitter songs, especially that video with Son getting beat up to the Kendrick joint, YouTube is like, no, nigga. No, you can't play that. That's copyrighted music. You feel me? So, just know that I got to do that every day for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Every day. So we're going to get into some more spitter stuff. Just take a quick intermission. Quick intermission. Want y'all to jam out real quick. Put y'all on to some spitter. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Matter of fact, tell your friends to come on through. I'll be right back. My man. They can't have him because of how that's my man. Come on. Uh-huh. Did you miss me? I wasn't gone too long, was I? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, we back. Thank you, Spitter. As always, I can always count on my nigga Spitter to hold me down for the intermissions. Okay? I mean, since I pushed back the time, we can get into all of the things. Let's get into the D.L. Hughley clip, huh? Let's see what D.L. Hughley, of all people, cares what D.L. Hughley has to say at a time like this. Let's see.
But even he says things they don't like.
Right.
What they don't understand, MAGA likes Republicans. MAGA likes black men for the same way they pick their dogs, because they're obedient. They'll never have a stamp or school. They'll never be remarkable. Do you know why Clarence Thomas got the job? Because Thurgood Marshall was retiring.
Correct.
And they needed a black dude, and he was the only one around. He never spoke for decades. He never issued a minority or majority opinion. If Clarence Thomas didn't take a picture with the Supreme Court, they thought he was a janitor. He would have thought he was a janitor that was photobombing. And he is one of the, and the thing that's funny now is that with Charlie Kirk gone, this new iteration of white supremacists has no use for people like that. Did you notice any one of them speaking at his funeral? But even he says things they don't like.
Right.
What they don't understand.
Okay.
Black.
All right. So we already know when it comes down to like the mass majority, I would say like 98% of all Hollywood-based black celebrities, I would probably say like 99% are some of the most ahistorical coons that you will ever listen to speak. Just being honest with you, right? So now I ain't even going to get into the whole Thurgood Marshall Clarence Thomas thing. But I will say, almost exclusively, black Republicans built schools all throughout black American history. They were the most remarkable black Americans that America has ever seen. I don't know what this nigga is talking about. Some of the most conservative black men that you will ever meet in history built institutions almost exclusively. So many black American institutions were built by a bunch of black conservative Christian men who stood on Christian values. Ain't nothing liberal about the Bible. Not that much. You know, loving thy neighbor, but I don't think that's a liberal, thing. So it's like when it comes down to like black Republicans not being remarkable, it's like all throughout black American history debunks that. You feel me? All throughout. So again, it was something that I seen, and I was just like, yo, listen, man, like when it comes down to these celebrities and shit like that, man, you know I don't hold them to no high political regard or nothing like that. I was never really a fan of D.L. Hughley like that anyway, to be totally honest with you. I only know him from, 3 places. Steve Harvey show, Kings of Comedy, and then the D.L. Hughley show, and I did not watch that show. I just know that he had one. So it's just like, he wasn't never on my Mount Rushmore of black American comedians. He was never fly to me. He was never that funny to me or whatever. But I do know that there's a bag, okay, to get when it comes down to all of this political discourse and stuff like that. And instead of being actually genuine, instead of actually being objective, instead of actually, standing on black American advancement as opposed to Democrat advancement or black Democrat advancement, they say stupid shit like this. To where black Republicans or even black MAGA for that matter are unremarkable people. And it's like, yo, dog, for the past 70 years, Democrats have been running our cities for the most part. And you already know I ain't no Republican. I ain't no fan of Republicans or nothing like that. I give props to, you know, Republicans where they're due. Same thing with Democrats. But when it comes down to like the actual welfare of black Americans, y'all have been putting your lives in Democrats' hands for the greater part of a century, if not a century by now. You feel me? In certain cities, it's been a century. Some others weren't. But, like, yeah, after, like, what was that? FDR and the New Deal and all of that shit, like, yeah, 1940s. Y'all bought this shit hook, line, and sinker. So we talking about the greater part of a century. Y'all been blindly voting for Democrats. And y'all still have great things to say about them. But then you talk about being obedient dogs. Who's the obedient dog? Let's check it out. Let's see. Let's just see who's the actual obedient dog here. Objectively speaking, because you know, I'm not a fan of Democrat or Republican, to be totally honest. I say use the parties for what you can get. But very interesting. So on these graphs here, can you guys see it? Do I need to blow it up? Let's see. Let's go here. So yeah, let's zoom in here because I want you guys to be able to see this shit. Okay, can I zoom in? Yeah, we can zoom in. Of course we can zoom in. I want you guys to see this shit. There we go. So the black vote for president from 1936 to 2020, the lowest year. That from 1936 to 2020, the lowest we've ever came in for the Democrats was in 1956. Who was running for? Was that Eisenhower? Who was running for president during this time? Sammy, look it up real quick. 61%. 61% voted for Democrats. That's the lowest we gonna get from 1936 to 2020. Who's the obedient dogs? Greater part of a century. Let's go black party affiliation. Now look, back in the day, what I tell you, 1940s, right? Starts to pick up. So in 36, it was only 44, okay, 44%. And then now look, at the height, we got, at the height is 1968. Shocker. Shocker. So, who's really the obedient dogs here? When these Democrats can count on your vote predominantly for the greater part of a century. 1936 was FDR. Shocker, like I said. Everybody panicking off the Great Depression. Everybody wants the Great Depression to end as fast as possible. FDR coming in with the New Deal. The New Deal. Another form of pimping, but, you know, everybody fell for it. It wasn't just black Americans. You feel me? And so, yeah. And then in 1964, look at that. No, excuse me, not even 1964. Obviously, 2008 will be the highest year. And guilty. Like, come on. Who wasn't voting for Obama who was black? Like, shout out to who's this? The 4%? Shout out to the 4% of black Americans. Those staunch black Republicans who was like, nah, red no matter what. You feel me? But, nigga, I was voting for Obama. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Sammy says, old pimping. You know what I'm saying? Old pimping. That's a fact. Yeah, Crystal says the no deal. That's a fact. All finesse and pimping. All finesse and pimping. But, I mean, come on, fam. Like, you can't start talking about Black MAGA like this when your record looks like this. Come on now. You're not being genuine, man. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. There's no way, son. There's no way you can sit there and say that Black MAGA are lapdogs. Then what does that make you? What does that make you? Because all throughout they've been in the minority for almost the greater part of a century. Okay? 28%, 32%, 23%, 39%. That's the biggest. 39%. Just over a third. 39%. Who's the lapdogs? You gonna call these people lapdogs? Honestly? You shitting me? Come on, man. Let's keep it honest here. So if we're gonna talk about lapdogs and obedient dogs and all that other stuff, it's gonna quite obviously be black Democrats. Like let's just stop. Excuse me, sorry. Let's just stop. Okay, so is that it for the bookmarks? No. Something good, something good, something good. Yeah, man. Love this photo. I love this photo. It says, mother smiles as she poses with her 8 children. Now, chat. Chat. You know what I'm about to say. I appreciate the amount of kids, the amount of family. I am just like, 8 girls? Not to be that guy. But 8 girls is, ugh. Hopefully, well, hold on. You got 7 here. Hopefully, this right here is a boy. Hopefully. Not trying to be that guy, but like, yo, 8 girls is crazy. 7 girls is already, but like 8? We can't get 1 boy in the mix? That's, whew, man. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Am I being a misogynist? Am I being a misogynist for thinking that having 7 daughters is oh man. It's yes. It's beautiful, Sammy. Okay, Sammy says, okay, this is beautiful, but 8 girls is God sending a brother a message. That's a fact, fam. This is intentional. This is from God, son. This is God right here, son. You feel me? 8 girls is crazy. And then, even if the baby is a boy, having 7 older sisters, fam? 7 older sisters. And you are the youngest boy, like you're the youngest, period. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're the youngest. Oh my God, son. Listen, I love my sister. Me and her locked in. That's my baby right there. Me and her locked in for life. You feel me? For lifer. But me and her were fighting like cats and dogs as kids, man. Like, what? So when I see this, I'm just like, I couldn't imagine, son, having 7 older sisters. And then I'm still charged with protecting them. And I'm still, like, I still got to protect my sisters. Like, come on, son. What a job. What a job I'm being born into, yo. Ugh. I got to start making tea or some shit. But the water will do for right now. But, yo, son. 7 older sisters. Or 8 girls. Neither are ideal. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. Not happening. It's way too much. Way too much. It's way too much for a little brother to handle, son. Way too much. And these 4 right here gonna give him the most trouble. You feel me? These 4 right here, the 4 younger ones, that's who, if he's a boy, that's who gonna give him the most. She gonna be the most understanding because she's been, you know, helping with everybody else. The second most understanding, you feel me? She gonna cause a little bit of mayhem, but she understands that her 2 older sisters raised her right. But these 4, oh yeah, these 4, they giving that boy hell, if that's a boy. They giving him hell, especially this one. They the closest in age. They're the closest in age. But they close, but she's still older. This would be me and my sister right here. Right here. The 4-year-old. She look about 4 years old. This is my sister and me. But if I had if she had a little sister and then I came third, they would have been jumping me. I know that. I know they would have been jumping me. Oh man. Hey, my man Sammy. Sammy says, just found out I'm having a baby boy yesterday. Let's go, Sammy. Attaboy. Attaboy there, Sammy. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations, Sammy, man. Congratulations. Oh, man, that's super lit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, another baby in Hotepistan. That's what we do. Shout out to Sammy and little Sammy on the way. Let's go. Let's go. Congratulations, Sammy boy. That's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful, man. That is beautiful. You done made the stream. That's it. Sammy did it. Oh, man. That's what's up. Shout out to Sammy, man. Let's go, man. That's beautiful. We be over here talking about family all of the time, and Sammy was on the under, making family. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's give it up for him. I need to see hand claps in the chat. Let's give it up for him, man. Another baby in Hotepistan. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, son supremacy, Crystal. Yes, son, I got two beautiful daughters, but I'm trying to tell you right now, son supremacy. Son supremacy. Let's go. All right. Oh, that was dope. That was dope. Oh, man, that's fire. All right. Okay, so where we going to start? We're going to start with the first black man who became a doctor, or we going to go to the primary sources, huh? Let's go to the primary sources first. Let's go to the primary sources first. Here we go. A book of medical discourses in 2 parts by Rebecca Crumpler, or Dr. Rebecca Crumpler. Excuse me, Dr. Rebecca Crumpler. What's wrong with me? Dr. Rebecca. Dr. Rebecca Crumpler. Okay? So if you guys don't know what she looks like, because I don't know, I never heard about her until about a year ago. This is what she looks like. Okay? This is what she looks like. And as you can see, oh, wait. Which one is Rebecca? See, this is the problem I be having. Let's go to Fake History Hunter. Let's see what we got going on. Not Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler. So this is her. This is Rebecca. Oh, okay, wait. No. Is this her or what, bro? Above, you see just a small selection of pictures I found online that were, of course, all made with a lot of good intentions, but the picture used is not Dr. Rebecca. It's for the Mary Eliza Mahoney. See? And who is this? This is Georgia Lee Patton Washington. So we don't even have a picture of her, do we? Wow. Oh, man. Oh, so many people that they said was Dr. Crumpler. Oh, my goodness. So we don't even have a picture of her. The article ends with, if you can find an image of Dr. Crumpler, please let me know. This is incredible. Sorry. That was good. So no, we don't know what she looks like. We don't know what she looks like. These are all different prominent doctors and nurses. You know what? We'll keep this page up because we can get into those doctors and nurses. So we'll X out of that, and let's just get back to Rebecca's book. Now, what do we have here? Can we zoom in? Of course we can zoom in. Of course we can zoom in. So it says part first, which I found hilarious. Part first is creating of the cause, prevention, and cure of infantile bowel complaints from birth to the close of the teething period or till after the 5th year. And part second is containing miscellaneous information concerning the life and growth of beings, the beginning of womanhood, also the cause, prevention, and cure of many of the most distressing complaints of women and youth of both sexes. Okay, so this was written when? 1883. Okay, 1883. Out the gate, as you know, when it comes to the ancestors, out the gate, late 19th century, they smoked it. So here we go with the contents of the book. Let's zoom on in here. I've referenced this book on the timeline. Before we get to the contents, let's see what the chat has to say. Crystal said, I always said if I had children, I want boys because I wanted to be the only woman in the house. That's fire. Sammy says, careful what you wish for. Me and my bros was a handful for my parents, especially mom. That's a fact. I put my mom through the ringer. You hear me? Because I was a real boy for real. Doing all of the boy things. I'm outside getting dirty. You feel me? I'm fighting. I'm roughhousing. I'm doing all of the tenacious black boy stuff. But let's get to the contents, huh? So we have the introduction, obviously. Then we got how to marry, the present modes of washing and dressing the newborn, preparations for confinement. This might be good for you, Sammy. This might be good for you. Hold on. The preparations for confinement, don't know what that means. The better mode of washing the newborn, necessity of agreeable and soothing surroundings, nursing from the breast made easy, the usefulness of baby medicines during the month, dropping of the navel cord, okay, artificial nursing, the milk fever, precautions after the month, proper and improper diet, general treatment of infants, time for weaning, sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, cholera, infantum versus starvation. What was it, cholera? Oh, it's cholera. I'm tripping. Cholera infantum. The causes and prevention of cholera infantum, convenient methods for raising infants without the breast, teething made easy, sections 1 and 2, complications of teething with diseases. Wow. General remarks, part second, miscellaneous information. So I would be remiss because I did share this on the timeline because there has been, obviously, the gender wars on the timeline for the greater part of a decade, if not a whole decade. And I want y'all to know, take note of that when it comes down to this book, before she got into any infant care, you see what she highlighted? You see what she highlighted in chapter 1? Yeah. Before we get into the baby stuff, let me tell you about the importance of getting married. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, the ancestors were so consistent. They were so consistent. Yeah, have as many babies as your heart can, contain, as your body can make happen. But chapter 1, though, you got to get married. You got to get married. You got to be serious about this stuff. These are the principles that the ancestors stood on. One of the things that we learned about about Black America in 1970 and beyond was that the government, with the what they would call LSPs, legal service programs or something like that, the government will pay for your divorce. And once they paid for your divorce, you didn't have to come out of pocket at all. They would, of course, incentivize you, okay, by, If you remain single, they would, give you AFDC, which is, what is it? Something families, American families with dependent children or something like that. Like, that's what AFDC was, but those were the AFDC benefits. And they discouraged marriage based upon that. Like, that's what it was. And from that point on, people weren't incentivized to get married. Because I can be able to get these benefits. Like, I want to still be able to have sex, obviously. Nobody wants to stop fucking. You feel me? Nobody ever wants to stop having sex. But I definitely do not want to get married. Because the law of the land right now is that if I don't marry this woman or don't marry this man, I'll be able to get benefits from the government. That's what happened. That's what happened. And then not only that, there was a small little surge, small, not great, but a small surge in divorces during that time as well. So again, people will be asking me like, yo, what broke up the black family and all of that other stuff? Like, yo, listen, it's a myriad of things. It's like 4 or 5 different things happening at once. But that's one of the things. Where the government was like, yo, we'll literally pay for your divorce. Don't even got a trip. And once you get divorced, we'll give you all of these benefits. So what do you think that does culturally? It's not just affecting black America either. You feel me? It affects everybody. Isn't like 50% of marriages are ending up in divorce and shit like that. This is a American cultural issue. But as you can see, the ancestors were like, oh, hell no. Nah, we all about marriage. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 in childcare is getting married. Like before, like in order to take care of the baby, you got to get married. So let's see what she has to say. At what age should a girl marry is a question frequently asked by young girls of some confiding friend and almost as frequently unsatisfactorily answered. Suppose the question be amended thus. At what age and how should young girls marry? Okay, the answer to the last clause, I would say, taking all things into consideration with the consent of parents or guardians, it is best for a young woman to accept a suitor who is respectable, vigorous, industrious, but a few years her senior, if not an equal age. So even when it comes down to like, oh, the age gaps of the ancestors and, great granddad was 20 years older than his wife and all this other stuff, the ancestors, that was against the ancestral prescription. Did it happen? Absolutely. But that was against the ancestral prescription. This is a doctor we're talking about here. Okay? And so, yes. And as you can see, he got to be respectable, vigorous, and industrious. And only a few years her senior, if not the same age. One who gives evidence previous to wedlock of being both capable and willing to take the entire responsibility of a wife upon himself. So, you know how I say that as a man, I only hold other men accountable and that, women should do the same? This is a woman telling other women, listen, he needs to be respectable, rigorous, and industrious. He should not be that much older than you, if not the same age. Okay? And then he has to give you evidence. He has to give you evidence previous to you getting married of being both capable and willing to take the entire responsibility of a wife upon himself. That's the requirements. That is the requirements that the ancestors set up for the girls of her age. Okay? These are the standards you should have for yourself. Men are going to be throwing themselves at you your entire life. You feel me? But he needs to be, again, what does it say? Respectable, vigorous, industrious, slightly older than you or the same age, who gives evidence previous to you getting married of being both capable and willing, okay, to take the whole responsibility of a wife upon himself. It got nothing to do with you. He needs to show you evidence that he's able to take that on. Okay? No objections, of course, to a union with wealth, all other things being equal. Okay? That is what it is. No sickly, sensitive young girl need expect to have it all sunshine, even with an industrious, well-meaning man for a husband, rich or poor. The age of a young woman should be about 19 or 20. This is in 1883, 19 or 20. It's the ideal age the ancestors thought for a young woman to get married. You know what I'm saying? 19 or 20. I know that sounds crazy right now. You feel me? I know that's absurd. You know what I'm saying? To assert in 2025. But I'm not gonna hold y'all, man. Like, not downing anybody, but yeah, like you didn't want to spend a huge percentage of your life looking for love. Like you didn't, like you start your family young so you can have the life experience together. You can live together, build an entire life together. So yeah, 19, 20, your dude is 23, you know what I'm saying? Y'all start life together. It ain't like this nigga 45 and you 20. It's none of that. It's two young people, young adults, who show themselves worthy of being married to each other and having the ability to, you know, raise a family coming together. Why wait till you're 35, 37, and 42, and, you know, all of that other stuff to finally find love? It's like, son, get it done. You know what I'm saying? No pressure, but, you know, it is what it is. It should be remembered that the union of persons of premature growth, that is, before the body is well developed on either side, favors weakly children. So listen, all of that 15, 16, 14, 13-year-old bride stuff, as a doctor, not with it. Just because she's had a period or whatever does not mean that this is going to be the best type of child to create. None of that underage stuff. Said that off the rip. It favors weakly children. And the same is true of the union of persons persons far advanced in years. Weakly mixtures also produce delicate children. A union of persons whose parents are of unmixed blood and whose statures are nearly in proportion usually turn out well. A man's age should be between 22 and 25 when taking the responsibility of a family upon him. See? I already knew. I will add just here that the way to be happy after marriage is to continue in the careful routine of the courting days till it becomes a well understood thing between the two. Look at this advice. This is in 1883. And they telling you about this stuff, man. Keep dating even after you get married. 1883. After marriage, if medical aid is required by the wife, let it be sought in a direction that there will never be a cause to regret. Some women are over anxious for a family and by their nervous whims make themselves and those around them unhappy. But it is to be deplored that there is a much larger class of young women whose minds are dark on the subject of preservation of health, and who soon forget, if they ever thought, of the liabilities of a married life. On taking cold or feeling languid or nauseated, a physician must at once be sent for. It should be borne in the mind that many women begin to show signs of pregnancy by cold, severe pain in the head, back, stomach, or various parts of the body. Numbers begin and continue for months with severe cramp, colic. And if remedies of a powerful nature are applied, the mischief may be alarming. Many of the teas, sweats, baths, and potions that are effective in relieving a cold will be wholly ineffective when pregnancy is certain. Therefore, repeated trials but disturbs the nervous system of the mother, through which all things are transmitted to the living germ. In all cases of suppression of the monthly flow after marriage, a careful physician should be at once consulted if there is any reason to doubt that it is caused by pregnancy. Suffice it to say that too frequent sicking, and overindulgence in intoxicating liquors and tobacco will cause sickly, diminutive, am I saying that right? Diminutive? diminutive, diminutive, right, offspring, to say nothing of premature birth. So basically what she's saying is that being, be at, your healthiest point. That's it. Be healthy, maintain a healthy lifestyle before and after pregnancy, and then you will have obviously a healthy pregnancy. So it says present modes of washing and dressing the newborn. Okay. Seems like this book is pretty short. Chapters are pretty short. So we can get through a few of them. The present modes, all right. So usually, as soon as the birth of a child is announced, a basin or a tub of hot water is ordered. The washing begins with a wee bit of rag and a great cake of perfumed soap purchased long, long before the occasion. Then follows wiping with a great linen towel, during which time the creature gets well aired, being indirectly exhibited to as many as have courage to look on and admire the cunning little thing. So funny. The water must be hot to get off the grease, said an old nurse. But with ignorant help, would it be surprising if a little of the skin came off first? Wow. In more favored circles, a nice bathtub is prepared, the water of an equal temperature with the room. Room temperature. There we go. Oh, that was a sarcastic question, obviously. It's like, yo, you're going to burn the baby's skin off. Some fine soap is put in to make a suds, which is applied after the surface of the body is oiled. Some cold water adherence persists in using ice cold water upon a newborn babe, depending on, quote, rubbing it to get a circulation. I once knew a divines have rules sometimes, whose customs led him to have his only child washed in this way, and believing in the adage of, quote, the hair of the dog curing the bite. He continued to doctor it himself for 18 months from its birth to its death with cold water. The babe received a severe cold, stopping up its nostrils and air tubes and rendering its little life wholly miserable. To the cause of all this suffering, they gave the technical name catara. The methods of washing infants just described are more common even in this enlightened age of humanity that is generally known. The excuse for cold baths may exist in the mode of life of the erratic tribes or among uncivilized nations whose minds are dark upon the construction and office of a nervous system. Wow. So motherfuckers was out here giving babies cold baths? They giving infants cold plunges? That's crazy. I wonder who those erratic tribes are. Anyway, I myself have witnessed at times and places that it was not deemed my business to speak, have led me to adopt what seemed a more humane course. With the use of cold water, some judgment is required, as many infants, when born, are weak and ready to yield up life upon the application of the slightest sedative. The skin being so largely supplied with nerves, which transmit all sensations to the internal organs as telegraph wires do electric current. Thus, cold water may send a chill to some vital part, the result of which no effort in the power of man can counteract. Oh, man. Listen, I didn't even know that, like, the people were doing that. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. All right, so let's get to some more medical stuff. Okay, so hold on. Crystal has said something about confinement. Confinement, final stages of pregnancy, and more commonly the traditional postpartum period of seclusion and recovery after childbirth. Involves specific cultural practices like special diets, rest, and avoiding certain activities to aid the mother's recovery. Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's see. When a woman is expected to be sick, if a physician has not been engaged as one should have been, no time should be lost in seeking quietly to notify one. It is just as important that a doctor should be in attendance before the birth of a poor woman's child as he should be present before the birth of the child of wealth. Okay, basically saying that no matter how much money you have, y'all gonna have the same type of reaction. All right. and it should be considered inhumane or inhuman in any physician to purposely absent him or herself until after the birth of the child. With a little benevolence and perseverance, the most humble in life can be provided with bedstead and bedding upon which should be fixed securely pads of cotton batting or woolen cloths. Also, there should be provided clean apparel for a change of undergarments should such change be needful. The chemist, okay, the chemice. What is this? Let's look this up. What is that? Never heard of this. Oh, whoa! What is this? Hold on. This can't be the classical. This not. Oh, hold on. Okay. Whoa! Sorry about that, chat. Sorry about that. We don't get into any of that type of stuff. This is a family show. Okay, this is what they were talking about. Okay, none of this sexy stuff. This is what they were more than likely talking about. Whoa, that was crazy. Insane. Y'all was there. Y'all saw it. It was live. You feel me? But this is what the chemist was. Okay? Jeez Louise. I'm trying to have a family show. And gown should be well taken up as to be... Markel, get out of here, bro. Markel talking about, wait, go back real quick. Oh my goodness, this is insane. And gown should be well taken up so as to be kept dry, as wet or soiled bedding or apparel in time of labor is a frequent cause of severe chills. For the same reason, should instruments or vessels be warmed before inserting in the case of instrumental labors. The surrounding atmosphere should be comfortable, never too warm or too cold. When there is no physician present and the child is so fortunate as to born itself, surely someone can be found to assist it to survive the task. Okay, they talking about those babies that was just coming out on their own. You feel me? Okay, what we got? After cautiously looking under cover to see that the infant's face is clear from contact of any parts or particles, patients will aid in determining how best to complete a well-begun job. Okay, born with a call. It is no uncommon thing in hasty labor for the bag of water to break and remain close around the face and neck of the child. This is done by the quick rolling motion in coming into the world. The force of the descent breaks the thin skin or bag, and the face force packs the face. The face force, excuse me, face. And the same force packs the face into it, so that it remains over the face, partly around the neck, and sometimes over the head as well. Were it not removed, the child must suffocate. This circumstance at a birth has given rise to sayings with, just as sayings, quote, born with caul or born with a veil, etc. The proper way to remove this bag or membrane is are they talking about the amniotic sac? Is that what they're talking about right here? Because, all right, the proper way to remove this bag or membrane is from over the head down, as lifting it may pull open the eyes, therefore bringing the eyeball in contact with the fluid or the chalk-like substance, thus laying the foundation for sore eyes. Wow. After 20 minutes or more, beating have ceased in the cord, which may be known by pressing closely between the fingers that part nearest the belly of the child. It should be tied by means of flat knot with lamp wicking or many strands of white spool cotton around a finger's length from the belly. Okay, they really getting late 19th century. You know what I'm saying? What spool of, all right. In case of twins, there should be a second tie the same length from the first, and the cord cut between the two ties. Oh man, okay, we know about the washing. Let's get into something else. What else they got here? Necessity of agreeable and soothing surroundings. All right, we could tap into this real quick. Sammy, I hope you're taking notes, brother. This is straight from the ancestors. This is chapter 5. No bay rum, okay? No perfume, puff powders, or other unnatural substances should be tolerated about young infants. But after the patients have been made comfortable, all soiled clothing or slops should be quietly removed. All loud talking or laughing should be strictly prohibited. To ensure this, no sly jokes should be indulged in by anyone present, for by so doing convulsions of an alarming nature may be brought on. Sorry, y'all. Judging from the actions of some women, when around a confinement bed, it is not at all unlikely that many cases of internal convulsions, both of mother and child, are the result of inward or suppressed laughter soon after delivery, and before the womb has had time to get in place, or when the babe is nursing. Wow, you can't even laugh hard. You feel me? Let's see. Let's go to the chat. Y'all been having a good time. Hold on. Crystal said grandma was getting all her bills paid in them little old house dresses. That's a fact. That's a fact. She also says, shout out to the midwives. They were really out here birthing whole communities. Word. And it was the amniotic. Okay, got y'all. Y'all answered me. And then another word that Sam about to hit me with. This is literally obstetrics. I ain't about to do this with you, Sammy. I'm gonna take your word for it. I can't pronounce certain words. I'll be tongue-tied. It's not even that I can't read. I know I can read. We be reading hours at a time on this show, but yeah. Okay. So keep it cool, keep it quiet. Got it. What else we got? We sifting through. Nursing from the breast made easy. Okay, okay. Okay, the usefulness of baby medicines during the month. Sammy, if I'm skipping over chapters that you would want to hear about, just let me know. I'm just trying to get to the stuff that the dropping of the navel cord. Oh, jeez, Louise. Let me know. I'm trying to find a chapter that we can all kind of use. You know, she did say, I mean, this is clearly about babies and all of that. And, you know, women. Okay, let's see. Precautions after the month. Let's see. This is about diet. And I will put this in the chat so you guys can read it. But it says precautions after the month, proper and improper diet. Let's see. There are many families in moderate circumstances who, no doubt, feel unable to keep more than one fire going during the cold season, yet nevertheless subject themselves and children to frequent and severe colds by the sudden change from a hot room to a cold sleeping apartment. This might be in a great measure be prevented by a little extra care to secure tenements with sufficient rooms on one floor. An infant should never be allowed to take its regular naps in a hot kitchen amid steam, dust, or in an ironing room with all of his day clothes on, beside extra cover, and then be undressed and put to bed in a room that no heat, not even that of the sun, is allowed to enter. Piling on heavy comforters renders the breathing heavy. No baby's face should be covered while asleep. Wow, it is wonderful to see how hard some of these little victims struggle to breathe while they sleep. If sleep it can be called. I just can't get over how stoic the ancestors were, yo. Just how stoic they were. You feel me? Like, yo, listen, no baby's face should be covered. And she said it is wonderful to see how hard some of these little victims struggle to breathe while they sleep. If sleep it can be called. Some babes kick off the cover and after being very warm get very cold, to avoid which soft flannel night drawers made so as to include socks and all should be used. Comfortable sleeping apartments without fire are healthy. The lungs of grown persons break down from cause of too much pressure, much more infants. Yet, from all such existing causes, the air tubes may escape, and the liver, stomach, or bowels receive the whole mischief. Wow. The sleep of children cannot be helpful if their clothes remain pinned down beneath and around them, and it may be tight leather shoes on. What? Well, I mean, I guess if they taken a nap during the day and they dressed. Besides, it cultivates untidiness to oblige them to submit to such management. On the contrary, every effort, even at the sacrifice of personal pleasure, should be put forth to ensure that clean, sweet, and undisturbed repose so much required, and without which few, if any, are perfectly developed. Okay. It says, children of any age should not be permitted to sleep in the open air unless it might be for a few minutes and where the air is extremely bland, which it seldom is on our New England parks and gardens. So she's coming out of, I think this said Massachusetts. A gradual change in the matter of bathing, dressing, feeding, and putting to sleep should be the rule. The mother may at any time during lactation communicate cold to a child. My first experience in this matter was about 35 years ago. So 35 years ago and from 1883 is what? Somebody help me do the math. Somebody, yeah, 35. So 1883 minus 35, whatever that date is. When assisting in the care of a child that was nursing. The mother, being very warm one summer day, drank freely from ice cold water while the babe of about 6 months was sucking. She had not much more than time to set the glass down when the babe was seized with rigid convulsions and dropped from the breast. The mother became almost helpless with fright, and as the next farm was some distance off, I had to use my young brain. Therefore, I had procured a tub with some warm water and a little mustard. What? Wait, what? And a little mustard. Okay, it may have been a fearful lot, but the infant was all right when I got through with it. Overwork or great fatigue in any way should be avoided by women that suckle their children. If obliged to work and scrub at home or elsewhere, they should endeavor to keep a strict watch over the condition of the life fountain, the breast milk. Ooh, they called your boobs life fountains. We putting that on the board. Now, a woman said this, so it's not misogynistic. You know what I'm saying? It's not misogynistic at all. You got the life fountains. Those big old life fountains you got. Oh, man. So, apparently what she was saying, it was warm out one day. The baby was, suckling and all of the other stuff. The body's at room temp. I mean, not room temp, at body temperature, 98.6. That's usually what the milk is going to be at. The mother drinks a cold beverage, and the baby immediately felt it. Wow. That's incredible. I don't know. I've never breastfed. So any breastfeeding moms in the chat, let me know if this has happened to you. If you've been breastfeeding in the summertime and or just whatever, and you had a cold beverage while your baby was suckling, did your baby respond as if they got like brain freeze? You know what I'm saying? Or like the baby just like was like, oh, whoa, it's too cold. And then she drew a bath with mustard in it. All right. Again, it is a mistake to indulge in drinking beers or other alcoholic slops to prevent the child's nursing cold. So she was tired of that shit. You feel me? She was tired of that shit. She was tired of seeing people, giving babies hot toddies and shit. It's like, yo, this is a baby. Why are you giving it alcohol? Why are you giving it whiskey? It's crazy. Let's see what she says about it. Early subsistence from the strength of whiskey, rums, beers, and ales, like tobacco, tends to stunt the intellect and dwarf the stature of the youth of our land. Wow. It is much better to eat warm soups or such solid food as will give permanent warmth to the blood. and ensure a clear character to the being. So that she basically said, not only is it not good for the baby to give it alcohol, you also turning them into like a drunk. You're going to have them be, you know, relying on it. Let's see. Contrary to the teachings of some so-called missionaries, I believe that neatness in arranging food, dress, or whatever pertains to order and pleasantness is the most essential part of a Christian duty. Of course she's Christian. Of course. Absolutely. For surely, if the body is cherished as the image of our Maker, the soul's salvation is a possibility. Man, I just love the way the ancestors talk, man. All right. This is dope. But we got to get to something. We got to get to more doctors. It's already 16. These are going to be the last bars right here. Children are given to parents only for a lifetime. It may be long or it may be very short. But to array them in fine linens with bare neck and arms, as had been and is now to a great extent the custom in many refined communities for public exhibition, is, it seems to me, a questionable act of parental affection. Oh my goodness. Yet many do so and boast when otherwise advised of their ability to toughen. Mother, your child may only be mother, your child may be only one of 100 to survive each such experiments. 99 may have been relieved by an early death. I have looked upon the lifeless form of babes whose would-be friends have failed to toughen, but has succeeded in contributing a bud to the garden of the dead. Yeah, shrouded just as they dressed them while living. Wow, that was kind of morbid. Rebecca, damn. Whew. Wow, this is, oh man. Too often babies are subjected to a variety of tortures unawares. They are expected to endure and remain perfectly quiet with cold food, cold air, hot air, clean clothes, dirty clothes, wet or dry clothes, thin or thick clothes, wind, dust, light or darkness, noise or quiet, scolding or caressing, squeezing, jolting, and beating. Finally, they endure what no man or woman would, from 1 week to 2 years old or till able to speak for deliverance. Previous to this time, they could only squirm and kick and cry, and then, being considered sick, will be forced to take soothing drops of or castor oil. But now they can tell of their little trials by some sound word or striking sign. Oh man, this is a great book. So I'm going to put it in the chat. For all of the parents out there, all of the new parents. Okay. Wow, this book was written in 1883, and the last time it was checked out was 1983. 100 years later. Wow. Very dope, very dope. But yeah, so this is the book. I'll just put it in the description. I won't close it out. All right. Let's get to James McCune Smith, huh? Let's get to James McCune Smith before we get out of here. So James was an American physician, apothecary, abolitionist, and author. And you're going to see resumes like this in the 19th century. But before we get into James, let's pause. Let's get into the chat. Let's see. Sammy said that was 1848, that she was dealing with that when she was a young nurse or a young doctor. When she was talking about 35 years prior, so that was 1848. Sammy says, I'm curious on if they let the child sleep in their room or in a separate room. I'm more than sure that she covers that in the book. You definitely definitely are gonna be able to, you know, check that out. Cliff says Life Fountain is wild. Though that's the new joint. That's what we calling them now. Crystal says breast milk is life-giving nourishment. That's a fact. Sammy says it's been real, but I gotta get up early for work for the white man. She said, don't worry, they baby well. I'll get up again with you on Friday for sure. God bless. God bless you, Sammy, man. And again, congratulations to you and yours on finding out you're having a baby boy, man. I know you're gonna do an amazing job. Yes, Markel, I do go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. usually. I took extra hour because I had to go run some errands and stuff like that. But I'm usually here 8 p.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay. And then if you really want to get to the nitty gritty and really get to more and more stuff, make sure you're subscribing to the Patreon. Somebody put the link in the chat. Patreon.com/Hotep History. You'll be able to get even more information. We go over stuff like this literally every day. Every day there's going to be something new for you to check out over at Hotep History. This is the stuff that we do. Okay? So thank you for, you know, checking out the stream, man. Let's see. So James McCune Smith. He was the first black American to earn a medical degree. His MD was awarded by the University of Glasgow in Glasgow, Scotland, where a building has been dedicated to him. That's dope. After his return to the United States, he also became the first black American to run a pharmacy in the nation. Oh, this is super dope. This is super dope. So in addition to practicing as a physician for nearly 20 years at the Colored Orphan Asylum in Manhattan, Smith was a public intellectual. He contributed articles to medical journals, participated in learned societies, and wrote numerous essays and articles drawing from his medical and statistical training. He used his training in medicine and statistics to refute common misconceptions about race, intelligence, medicine, and society in general. He was invited as a founding member of the New York Statistics Society in 1852, which promoted a then new science. Later, he was elected as member in 1854 of the recently founded American Geographic Society. He was never admitted to the American Medical Association or local medical associations, very likely as a result of systemic racism that Smith confronted throughout his medical career. In 2018, Smith received a posthumous fellowship from the New York Academy of Medicine. Okay. He has been most well known for his leadership as an abolitionist, a member of the American Anti-Slavery Society with Frederick Douglass. He helped start the National Council of Colored People in 1853, the first prominent national organization for blacks. Douglass called Smith, quote, the single most important influence on his life. Wow. Wow. Okay. Smith was one of the Committee of 13 who organized in 1850 in Manhattan to resist the newly passed fugitive slave law by aiding refugee slaves through the Underground Railroad. Other leading abolitionist activists were among his friends and colleagues. From the 1840s, Smith lectured on race and abolitionism and wrote numerous articles to refute racist ideas about black capacities. You remember what I was talking about? You remember what I was talking about when it comes down to black Americans being able to put forth their best foot to show that they are not what you may think? This is what I was talking about. So while, yes, you had the white abolitionists, right? But you had the black abolitionists being like, yo, dog, I own a pharmacy. I got this going on. I'm a doctor. All of this other stuff. You feel me? Let's see. Crystal says he was a pharmacist like Peggy's dad. Listen, Crystal, do not get me started. Okay? If you guys are watching The Gilded Age, two things. One, hurry up and finish so we can talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And two, tell me why, yo. So listen, I'm one of those people who watched Game of Thrones 10 years later. I'm one of those people. After the series was done and over with, you feel me? Then I watched all of the episodes. And yes, I binged them. I know that binging is not great for actually enjoying. It's like eating real fast. You're not really getting to enjoy the whole meal, all of that other stuff. I get it. But I'm a binger. I don't apologize for it. And so I binged all 3 seasons of Gilded Age, only to find out that there's more seasons coming, 1, and then 2, the new season is not coming until the end of next year or the top of 2027. Man, this is exactly the reason why I waited all of those years to watch Game of Thrones. And it was easy. It wasn't like, I was on the timeline every Sunday when Game of Thrones was on. And everybody was talking about all of these different characters and Cersei's and whoever the fuck, like, dog. I didn't care. Like, I'm not going to say I didn't think that the show was dope. Everybody was going crazy. And being a part of the conversation would have been cool. But I'm like, yo, dog, I'm not about to get entrenched in this story and have to wait 7 days. Nah, I'm cool. I'm in the streaming era, bro. Sorry. I'll wait. I will wait. But everybody kept telling me, yo, Doe, you got to watch Gilded Age. Doe, you got to watch Gilded Age. You got to watch Gilded Age. They talk about all of that stuff you be talking about when it comes to this person and that person and rich black people during this time. And so everybody's telling me I should watch it. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to watch it. Just to find out that I'm not going to get the next season until 2027, potentially. It's the end of 2025. Huh. So, yeah, man. We're not going to spoil it for nobody that's watching it. Crystal, I don't know what season you are on, but you need to hurry up and finish because I'm going to be talking about this show. I might do an entire stream just breaking down the 3 seasons. And I only will be talking about the black perspective. Not to say that the white perspective wasn't dope. It was. A lot of great storylines on the white side, for sure. But there's so many different historical, references that they make. T. Thomas Fortune and, other, Booker T. Washington is in the show. Like, there's, so yeah, I want to talk about it. I want to break it down, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because I don't know, I'm not going to hold you. Like, I really don't, when I get to talking about the show, I don't want to have to worry about, spoiling it for somebody. So I'll give y'all time to catch up. I'm going to watch season 1 through 3 again just because, I took notes, but I want to take some more notes. Markel said movies are better, so I'm with you. Let me just stream it all. That's a fact, man. So this is the first black American doctor. But as you can see, he didn't get his medical degree in America. That honor is bestowed upon David J. Peck. David Jones Peck was an American physician. He was the first black American to receive a doctor of medicine from an American medical school. He graduated in 1847 from Rush Medical College in Chicago. So he has a short wiki. It says, Peck, a native of, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, was born to Sarah Jones Peck and John C. Peck in 1802, a prominent abolitionist of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. John Peck, a native of Hagerstown, Maryland, was a barber, wig maker, and minister who was active in cultural and anti-slavery activities in and around Pittsburgh, where he lived after 1837. From about 1844 to 1846, David Peck studied medicine under Dr. Joseph P. Gazam. Pause. Gazam? That's your last name being Gazam is crazy. Sorry, your last name being Gazam? Hey, yo. He was a white anti-slavery physician. Gazam? That's crazy. That's crazy. After his 2 years of study with Gazam, nasty. I hope his name don't come up again. Peck entered Rush Medical College in Chicago in autumn of 1846 and graduated in 47. Wow. Graduated in 47? What kind of genius was he? He enrolled in 1846 and graduated the next year. During the summer after graduation, Peck toured the state of Ohio with William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. So Frederick Douglass is tapped in with all of the newest doctors. The first doctors in America. Frederick Douglass is like this with them. That's what I'm talking about. He set up a medical practice in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1848. He's moving 1846, 47, And then 1848, he opens up a practice. He married Mary Lewis in Chicago in 1849. Look, year after year after year. When his medical practice in Philadelphia proved unsuccessful, he returned to Pittsburgh in 1850. He's not wasting time. Okay, this shit ain't working. We out. At the suggestion of Martin R. Delaney, Peck moved to San Juan del Norte, Nicaragua in early 1852. See, listen, man, listen. I got respect for Delaney. But this back to Africa shit he was on, son. This leaving America shit. Where did he die? Hold on. Did Martin Delaney, did he leave? Where did he die? No, he was born in Virginia and he died in Ohio, telling a bunch of niggas to leave America. Don't like it. Why did you do that? Why would you tell this nigga to move to Nicaragua in 1852? Come on, son. All right, let's see. Let's finish this. Peck was killed in 1855 in a skirmish between Democratic forces and their Republican rivals at Jotiva, Nicaragua, near Grenada in the Filibuster War. The latter forces had been deposed after an election in 1854. Peck's death is recollected by Charles William Doubleday. Now that's a cool last name, Doubleday. That's fire. In chapter 4 of his Reminiscences of the Filibuster War in Nicaragua. Pick died as a result of a concussion injury sustained when a Republican cannoneer fired on the position from which Doubleday and Peck had been observing their activities. Wow. Markel said, did Gasm discover what we think he did? Man, all right. So no, I can answer and say no, but because you asked me, bro, I gotta see. Oh, what you got me Googling, Kel? All right, hold on. Nah. This shit go back to Greek, old, like ancient Greek times, bro. I'm not putting that on screen. But I can tell you from just my rudimentary search that no, the orgasm wasn't the orgasm wasn't created in 1840. What was he was at 1846, bro? No. Oh yeah, Markel, you gotta subscribe, bro. You gotta come through. You turn it up in the chat, man. You good company. All right. Who we got next? We got this right here. Why did that do that? Here we go. Let's go back up. We got Miles Vanderhurst Link. Okay. Miles Vanderhurst Link. Now y'all know I'm not gonna hold y'all. What I was about to say. I've never heard of these people. I'm not gonna hold you. But he was born June 3rd. He died December 29th. Not gonna lie. The greatest date on the calendar is December 29th. You wanna know why, chat? Do you want to know why December 29th is the greatest date on the calendar, bar none? Out of all 365 days, do you want to know why December, 29th is the best date on the calendar? Come on, y'all take a guess. Take a guess on why December 29th is the greatest date on the calendar. You feel me? Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Miles Vanderhurst Link was an American physician and author noted for his efforts to create opportunities for Black Americans in science, specifically medical doctors. He was known both as the founder, editor, and publisher of the Medical and Surgical Observer, the first medical journal issued by a Black American, as well as founding the University of West Tennessee College of Medicine and Surgery. Dog, what? Hold on. I tried Googling this, so I don't want y'all to be surprised if y'all see purple links, but I wanted to find I wanted to find something, but as you can see, the earliest I can find is 1996. It's my birthday. That's why. December 29th is your boy's birthday. What day is the 29th this year? Huh? Because if it lands on a stream day, you know we turning up. You know we turning up. Let's see. One of the highest niggas on the planet. December 29th falls on a Monday. Let's go. Let's go. Definitely doing a birthday stream. Definitely doing a birthday stream. Yeah, what? Yeah, son. Absolutely. We definitely doing a birthday stream. It's on Monday. We're going to have a good one. Yeah, we're going to have a good one. Yeah, I'm not going over no history but my own. I'm about to talk about my life. We're going to talk about 1989 to 2025. Okay, President Hotep Dupes, he got a history. He got a life story. We're going to learn about my history on my birthday. You hear me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on through if you want to learn. I'm going to schedule that one. I'm going to schedule that one on Twitter. Let y'all know we turn it up. And yes, there will be libations. There will be libations. There will be things in the air. Yes, Cavs, that's what we drinking. We gonna roll a few up. You feel me? We gonna have a good time on stream. I might stream all day. Yeah, absolutely. But let's get back to the subject. Let's get back to the subject. It's getting late, y'all. It's getting late. I know y'all got work in the morning. So let's learn about the... There, see, they're not getting us nothing. We might have to head on over to the archives. We're going to return to this because this will be a part of debunking myths. That's one of the topics. Let's get to the archives and see if we can find something on these people, man. You feel me? Let's see. Bye, y'all. Nope, not that. What was he at? Boom. We got to see what's going on, man. Shout out to everybody checking me out, man. Shout out to everybody watching. How many people we got in here? We got about 60 people. Shout out to the 60 people, man. That's watching me. Let's watch. Let's go. Let's load it up. Come on. We got to get to it. Did not peep that we was already close to midnight. Wow, you see, man, the archives be killing me, bro. With the slow load up. Okay, so while that's loading, let's get to this book. Let's get to this book right here. This one on borrowed time. I gotta find it in another one. But this book is called Medicine and Slavery: The Diseases and Healthcare of Blacks in Antebellum Virginia. Now, this is going to more so be about the treatment of Black Americans during slavery. I don't know how many slave doctors are going to be mentioned here. I tell y'all all of the time that slave doctors were sought after more than white doctors, but I mean, we're not going to act like white doctors don't have the establishment behind them during these times. So let's go through the contents. Did it load up? And only 7 results? All right, so that won't be hard to go through. So let's get back to this. Introduction: Were blacks medically different from whites? Health and the slave quarters, clothing, food and working conditions, other health problems and conditions, white and black medicine, care of urban and industrial slaves, the aged and free blacks, epidemics, insanity, blacks as medical specimens, and an afterword of medicine, slavery, and the historian. Wow, this was actually interesting. So I'm gonna let y'all pick what chapter we gonna peruse over. We know we're not gonna go through the whole thing, but I'm gonna let y'all pick chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. I'll tell y'all which one I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about white and black medicine and the care of urban and industrial slaves, the aged and free blacks. That's the one that I'm thinking about. So let me know which ones y'all like in the chat. I'll give y'all a second to think about that, and we're gonna go head over to the archives. Okay. If y'all on YouTube, you can just scroll to the options again, to see what 9 options you have. But we in the archives with it. I am not gonna hold y'all, chat. The more and more I do this, the more and more I realize, like, my streams gotta be longer. Yeah, my streams gotta be longer. I really might have to put in the 4 and 5 hours. I'm not gonna hold you. There's so much to go. Like, I haven't even really cracked the surface on what we were talking about. So what we got here? Weak men cured free. So check this out. So when you read early 20th century, late 19th century advertisements about weak men, when they were talking about weak men, what do y'all think they were talking about? What area in their life do you think they were weak in? They were selling the honey packs, man. They were selling the honey packs in 1903. You hear me? Whenever you see, if you go to the archives, see advertisements for weak men, they are talking about the member. They talking about the hammer. Okay? Look at the ad. It says, weak men cured free. Send name and address today. You can have it free and be strong and be vigorous for life. Ensures love in a happy home. How any man may quickly cure himself after years of suffering from sexual weakness, lost vitality, night losses, and what? Varicocele? I don't even know. But yeah, they selling it. They selling it right there. Health, strength, and vigor for men. And enlarge small, weak organs to full size and vigor. Simply send your name. Simply send your name. Let's see, dear sir. This is one of the customers. Oh, we got some customer reviews. Let's see. Dear sir, please accept my sincere thanks for yours of recent date. I have given your treatment a thorough test, and the benefit has been extraordinary. It has completely braced me up. I am just as vigorous as I was when I was a boy, and you cannot realize how happy I am. Oh, I'm not laughing at you, OG. I'm sorry, but this is hilarious. Dear sir, your method worked beautifully. Results were exactly what I needed. Strength and vigor have completely returned, and enlargement is entirely satisfactory. Dear sir, yours was received, and I had no trouble in making use of the receipt as directed, and can truthfully say it is a boon to weak men. I am greatly improved in size, strength, and vigor. All correspondence is strictly confidential, mailed in plain sealed envelope. Okay? The receipt is free for the asking, and they want every man to have it. So this is exactly, Crystal. This is Blue Chew. Okay? Yo. And yo, Markel, I hope I'm saying your name right, but yo, these ads are all over the place. If you go to the archives and type in weak men, I promise you, you're going to see dozens, if not thousands, of these ads. You hear me? Oh, man. I need a clipper, yo. We need somebody to clip this up. Oh, shit. Look at this, y'all. See, this is why I be talking about Markel. we get into the ancestors' business. Look at this. 2 Negroes in Lafayette, Louisiana found $100,000 in Spanish coin while fishing in Vermilion Bay. The coin was in an old-fashioned cannon in an inlet 6 feet deep. Yo, what? Hold on. Hold on. You know we got to do it. Sammy in bed right now, so we can't do it. We got to know. What did they say, 100,000? 100,000 in 1903? How much we talking? How much we talking? They found $3.6 million, my G. Imagine you and your partner are fishing in the bay, minding your business, and you find, you're like, oh, son, I got something. I got something. It's fighting, too. It's fighting. And you pull up an inlet or a box or whatever it is of a bunch of coins. And you do your research and you realize y'all just fished out $3.6 million of Spanish coin. Man, that's amazing. Okay, let's get to the actual. I'm sorry, y'all, man. I know I'll be all over the place. But you know, that's why we here. Oh, did it freeze up on me? Oh, man. Wait, it's more rich things? Hold on, it's more rich stuff. Hold on, it says... Why is it doing me that? It says a dispatch to the Daily States from Las Quebradas, Honduras, July 28th, says John Knight, a native Negro of that city, has struck very rich gold mine there, which places him as one of the richest citizens of that country. The mine is a placer, and he is washing out as much as $36 per yard. The location is about 26 leagues northwest of San Pedro in the department of Santa Barbara. Okay, that was in Honduras, so I was going to be like, sheesh. Okay, so we need to go all the way down. Oh, look. We found our boy. We got our guy. You know, I love when the archives got the people in it. I'm sorry that it's not clear. I don't know why it's doing that. But yeah, here we go. MV Link, president of the University of West Tennessee Medical College, has the distinction of publishing and editing the first Afro-American medical journal known as the known in the world. This journal was known as the Medical and Surgical Observer and was published from December 1892 to January 1894, during which time it was the recipient of contributions from some of the ablest medical writers. Man, that's dope. What else we can? So it seems like they're not going to... See, we need to... one of the problems that I have as a historian is that I don't have an email address that ends in edu. So I'm largely kind of boxed out of a lot of historical pieces of literature and stuff like that because of that. You feel me? And this is what I need. I need somebody that's still in college or still has their edu email, so I can use it to be able to access these files, man. All right. Let's see. That's because that shit is taking forever to load. So let's get to the book. So since y'all didn't pick in the chat, I'm going to go with I don't know, because I want to read all of them, to be honest. Clothing and food and working conditions. Shout out to Dr. Tanai Ricks. That's my brother, for real. Like, I know him in real life. Nowadays they might not let you keep it. What are you talking about, Markel? Oh, wow. All right, so shout out to my brother Tanai, for real. Let's see. Care for urban and industrial slaves and free blacks. I guess we're going to go with 6. 185. Why is everything loading so damn slow? It's probably because... Yeah, it's probably because I need to take my ass to bed, to be honest. But I ain't doing it. I got work to do. Yo, listen, man. I'm telling you, I got tabs for days. So if y'all not jacking, like if y'all not going to let me, you know what I'm saying, read what I need to read to the people. Oh, the gold. Yeah, they might not even let you keep the gold for real. Yo, there was somebody who was mining, a black American man who was mining like diamonds or gold. And it was like, I got to look into his story because yeah. It was a whole thing that I had looked up months ago, probably even like last year or something like that. I don't know. I think we froze up, chat. I think they froze me up. I think my connection is on the fritz. And I got the Ethernet cord. You know, we've been rocking with the Ethernet. But it's taking some time. I don't know what's going on. Everything locking up on me, man. Everything locking up on me. Trying to tell you something, man. Okay. Because we gonna get some history, you hear me? We got tabs for days. Now, remember what I was telling y'all, and I'm good because I didn't want to get to the, to the end of the stream and we didn't talk about this. So I told y'all about the National Medical Association. This has been the historical Black American owned organization and association. As you can see, it's been established since 1895. Okay? And it says the National Medical Association, NMA, is the nation's oldest and largest organization representing Black American physicians and health professionals in the United States. Established in 1895, the NMA is the collective voice of more than 30,000 Black American physicians in the patients that they serve. So that's what we're dealing with here. Okay? So it was founded 1895 during an era in U.S. history when the majority of Black Americans were disenfranchised. The segregated policy of separate but equal dictated virtually every aspect of society. Racially exclusive Jim Crow laws dominated employment, housing, transportation, recreation, education, and medicine. Black Americans were subjected to all of the injustice inherent in dual medical care system. So under the backdrop of racial exclusivity, membership in America's professional organizations, including the American Medical Association, was restricted to whites only. The AMA determined medical policy for the country and played an influential role in broadening the expertise of physicians. When a group of Black doctors sought membership into the AMA, they were repeatedly denied admission. Subsequently, the NMA was created for black doctors and health professionals who found it necessary to establish their own medical societies and hospitals. You feel me? Listen, we ain't the ones that have a problem with integration. We ain't the one that don't have a problem working side by side. It's y'all, right? So boom. Quote, conceived in no spirit of racial exclusiveness, okay, fostering no ethnic antagonisms, but born out of the exigency of the American environment. See, this ain't about white people or none of that stuff. It's like, yo, listen, the NMA extended equal rights and privileges to all physicians. Although the NMA had led the fight for better medical care and opportunities for all Americans, its primary focus targets health issues related to minority populations and the medically underserved. The NMA remains committed to improving the health status and outcomes of African Americans and the disadvantaged. You feel me? So let's look at the founders. All right. The charter members in 1895 who were present during the Cotton States and International Exposition at the first meeting chose officers. Robert F. Boyd, MD of Nashville, Tennessee, served as its first president. The other officers were, quote, not quote, but Daniel Hell Williams, like legend, okay? Vice President Daniel L. Martin, of Nashville. Secretary David H.C. Scott, M.D., Montgomery. Treasurer H.R. Butler, Maryland. Oh, excuse me. Oh, H.R. Butler, Maryland is crazy. Maryland was crazy, though. H.R. Butler, M.D., Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia, Chairman of the Executive Committee, Miles V. Link, M.D., you feel me, of Memphis, Tennessee. Robert F. Boyd, M.D., were the prime moving spirits of the formation of the organization. The two men had invited all professional persons who could be located at the exposition to meet at the First Congregational Church, and the NMA was born. Okay? The early years, what we got? The discriminatory policies of the nation at the time, the NMA was founded, manifested countless examples of the inadequacies of a segregated healthcare system. A priority item on the first NMA agenda was how to eliminate disparities in health and attain professional medical care for all people. Racism in medicine created and perpetuated poor health outcomes for black and other minority populations. In the South, hospital accommodations were frequently substandard. If blacks were admitted to general hospitals at all, they were relegated to all black wards. In some instances, white nurses were prohibited from caring for black patients. Conditions in the North were also inequitable. It is reported that as late as 1912, only 19 of New York City's 29 hospitals would admit black patients, and only 3 gave black physicians the right to tend to their patients or perform operations. With an increasing black population throughout the United States at the turn of the century, other concerns were added to the NMA agenda. 1. How to address the healthcare needs of a population that by 1912 exceeded 10 million. 2. How to increase the number of minority physicians needed to adequately treat them. I'm pretty sure they didn't say minority, but it is what it is. And 3. How to improve the overall health of the black population. NMA members set up their own hospitals, emphasized physician training, and appointed several commissions to study major diseases contracted by minorities, such as tuberculosis, hookworm, and pellagra. The first issue of the Journal of the National Medical Association was published in 1909 and edited by Dr. Charles V. Roman. Okay. Scholarly research and findings regarding the prevention, treatment, and management and care of illness and disease were reported quarterly. Today, monthly reports to medical institutions, physicians, medical students, and residents have helped raise professional standards. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's just the later years. You guys can check that out. They are still active to this very day. All right. Did we get some act right on this stuff, man? Like, come on. Did we get some act right, or is it still loading? Okay. It was what, 185, right? Oh, we doing it again. Doing it again. Okay, let's see. I love the Indianapolis Freeman, yo. Not only their articles are dope, but their art is dope too. Their illustrations. Shout out to Haywood and a few others that made illustrations for the Freeman. What we got? 40 acres of land and a mule. Such a mule is bad enough anywhere, but the Negro is not even permitted to enjoy these things in the land of chivalry and, what does that say? And colonels. Okay. Who made this one? Who made this? Ken Nicoli? Guess, I don't know. Okay. So didn't get the 40 acres, but let's see. Dr. MV Link is making improvements on the medical and surgical observer. Yeah. Wait, what? Who was 116 years old? Miss Missy Stevens is teaching at Hertz Chapel. Thanksgiving was well observed in the city. Blah, blah, blah. Reverend E.H. Harris of Alabama is the new preacher at Liberty CME Church. Old man Overton Harris, the oldest citizen in the country, died November 30th at the advanced age of 116 years old. Mr. and Mrs. Archie Tomlinson lost their only son, aged 10 years. Okay, they just giving us all of the updates for the town. Okay. Well, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I will make sure that I put these links into the video description. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I served you guys, right and proper. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys, coming on through to the page, man. I really do. You guys were amazing. I think we had a great time. Y'all let me know if y'all appreciate it. You feel me? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Markel coming through. Shout out to Sammy again. Let's clap it up for Sammy. Finding out he's having a baby boy. Okay. Shout out to Crystal, of course. Shout out to Cliff. Of course, shout out to who else we got? Markel was killing the chat. Was it just us in the chat? Just us four? It's all good. I'm glad that you guys engaged with me, man. Y'all my day ones, man. Chance too. My youngin' Mike, of course, came through. Aket came through. Shout out to everybody that comes through, Bree. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys are amazing. Make sure that you guys are following me on all of the things here. You got Patreon. What else you got? You got Kick. You got YouTube. You got Instagram. You got Twitter. Me on Twitter. And then you got the TikTok. Come on through and follow me on all of the things, man. You know what I'm saying? I always appreciate y'all coming through to my streams. I know, like, the last episode, it was all rant and no subject, so I wanted to make sure that you guys got some subject tonight. You feel me? But it is late, y'all. Y'all need to get to bed. Y'all need to get up in the morning and go to work. Y'all got to do y'all thing. Y'all got to get to it. So when Friday comes, y'all can tell me y'all got after it, that y'all won it, y'all brought it on home. But thank you guys again. And as always, chat, come on. You can't have the future without the present. And you cannot have the present without the past. And we do not study history to live in the past. Oh, no, 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 no. We do it to order our steps in the present so we can positively what? Affect our future. Thank you guys again for tapping into the stream. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys again on Friday. Mark the calendar, December 29th. We are going to be doing a whole stream. Okay? Just about President Hotep's history. You feel me? And as always, ladies and gentlemen,